Chapter 107. Chu Xiang set the time to join the crew. Before joining the crew, she went into seclusion to write. She finished saving the drafts of Heavenly Immortals and all the new ancient Chinese poems. She also set the daily update time. Liang Jun accompanied her in writing and wrote a lot of drafts. This was the first time he had a draft. He couldn't help but post a picture of the back catalog on Weibo to show his fans how hardworking he was. As a result, his fans all called for him to share his drafts. They even promised that as long as he updated all of them, they would immediately send him to the top of the rankings. Liang Jun sent a disdainful emoji. Do I look like someone who accepts sugar-coated bullets? The goddess has joined the crew as a screenwriter. She has no motivation to write. You guys can only count on the drafts. The couple's fans received another round of official sugarcoating. There were also Chu Xiang's fans who speculated from Liang Jun's words that Chu Xiang definitely had a draft as well. These were all written by them. The number of words was frighteningly large, but it really made them happy. After Chu Xiang joined the crew, Liang Jun felt very bored. Clearly, when he didn't know Chu Xiang, his days were like this. But now he felt particularly empty. He felt that every day was so long. He only felt a little happier when he video chatted with Chu Xiang. Zhuyu also went out often. Liang Jun felt bored and moved back to his courtyard house. He began to collect travel guides from all over the world. He carefully categorized them, sorted out the pictures and information, and sent them to Chu Xiang. Previously, when they were traveling around the capital, he found that Chu Xiang quite liked traveling. Moreover, she could gain something every time, which was very helpful for her writing. Now that he couldn't see Chu Xiang anyway, he might as well make a collection of travel guides and plan where they would go in the future. When he sent it to Chu Xiang, he mentioned the next destination in the video. His words were very natural, but in fact, he was more or less nervous. It was only when Chu Xiang picked a destination that he smiled and said that they would go in 2 months that he felt relieved. Hidden in the travel plan was his one thought, that is, you have my company in the future. If Chu Xiang agreed, then Chu Xiang would be willing to be with him for a long time. Liang Jun was looking forward to their long journey at home. Of course, he didn't forget to write in his email diary. Chu Xiang, on the other hand, was like a fish in water in the crew. She was already very familiar with the production team and treated the director and celebrities as ordinary people. Her attitude was neither servile nor overbearing, and she only wanted to be a good screenwriter. This kind of personality made the crew very fond of her. Before meeting her, many people were very curious about her. After all, she was a popular topic among ordinary people. She was also a representative of women's rights, which made people curious about what kind of person she was. But after interacting with her for a while, he realized that she wasn't soft-bun, nor was she one of those extreme feminists. She was just a very normal, serious, and slick and beautiful young lady. Chu Xiang was indeed very beautiful at the moment. She had successfully reduced her weight to 100 kilograms, and her facial features were bright and generous. There was also a kind of mature disposition that was beyond her age. When Chu Xiang was working seriously, she had the ability to make others unconsciously listen to her opinions seriously, giving others a feeling of reliability. Gradually, Chu Xiang was truly treated as a reliable screenwriter by the production team. Whenever the director and the male and female leads had any ideas of their own, they would discuss it with her. Then they would revise the script together and perfect it. Sometimes, when the director suddenly came up with an idea, Chu Xiang would argue against it if she felt that it didn't fit the character setting. She always had a way to convince everyone. It was just like how the characters she wrote had their own souls, not clay that could be easily molded. All of the plot had to start from the character setting. When Chu Xiang understood the character setting of the characters, it became easier for them to discuss the plot. This was because they were confident that as long as Chu Xiang agreed, the plot would be exciting. If Chu Xiang disagreed, the plot would deviate from the main storyline. Chu Xiang had become the gatekeeper of the script's quality, allowing the entire production crew to rest assured and saving the director a lot of trouble. There was a character who only appeared once in the drama, and it was the female lead's teacher. She was a slightly deranged and arrogant demonic cultivator. Logically speaking, a character who only had a few lines and a few minutes of screen time should be the main female lead. However, the character was also very important. If she couldn't bring out the arrogance of her teacher, how could she influence the thoughts of the female lead? If so, this part wouldn't be outstanding. The director wanted to invite a beautiful young lady with outstanding acting skills to make a cameo appearance, but the demonic cultivator was young and beautiful. Even if a beautiful young lady's acting skills were good enough, she was still lacking in the charm of a young lady. In the first place, there was only a few minutes of screen time. If the character's personality couldn't be brought out, it would be meaningless. This matter had troubled the director for a very long time. He was already 2/3 of the way through the filming, but he still hadn't found a suitable candidate. This drama was a high-quality production, and the director wasn't willing to compromise at all. He gradually became irritated. In the end, the director found Chu Seong and asked, "If we delete this character, can we make up for the lack of this plot in other aspects? Or let the teacher only appear in the female lead's memories? Only her back view can be seen and reflected through the female lead's complaints." Chu Seong shook her head. "The effect won't be good. If we do that, the teacher's character will seem very erratic. There will be no memory points, and it will be easy for her to fall out of character." The director took out a cigarette, but put it back when he thought of Chu Seong. He sighed. "There's no other way. If we find an unsuitable actor to play the role, the effect won't be good. The overall production of this drama is very good. We really can't let a character fall out of standard. So, I want you to think of a way to see if we can make some changes to the script." Chu Seong thought about the character of her teacher. Her teacher held a very important position in her heart. Because of her importance, she only mentioned her teacher briefly in The Demon Emperor, and didn't write much about her. She felt that she couldn't write her teacher's image no matter how she described it. It lacked flavor. Moreover, she didn't want to write more of this character for others to criticize. It was just that in her whole life, her teacher was an indispensable person. In this story, he should also appear at the most important moment of the female lead's life to change the female lead's life. If this character was deleted or the actor didn't play it well, Chu Seong couldn't help but frown when she thought of this. She thought for a moment, "I'll play this role." The director was stunned and looked at her with his eyes wide open. "You what? You'll play it?" "No, Chu, although the story you wrote is really good, writing this character and acting this character are two different things. Even if you know this character the best, you can't compare to a professional actor." Chu Seong smiled and said, "Won't you know if I can give it a try? I'll perform for you." Chu Xianglai came. She was the person who knew her teacher the best, and her acting skills were better than Best Actress Oka's. She walked to the center of the room and stood still. She instantly got into the role, and the look in her eyes and posture changed. "Yo, which family's poor child is this? Why is she so lovable?" Chu Seong tilted her head and looked at the floor. She raised her arm and waved. The director seemed to see her wearing a red wide-sleeved dress, and his eyes suddenly lit up. Chu Seong's slightly lowered eyes and the slight curve of her mouth showed that this female lead was indifferent. Her lazy tone and her lines exuded the charm of the character. Chu Seong walked 2 steps slowly, as if she was looking at the child a few more times. Then her face showed some interest. "You're obsessed. Heh, interesting. I'm in a good mood today, so I'll take you back to play." Chu Seong stopped and looked at the director. She was out of character in a second. The director came back to his senses and saw Chu Seong looking at him with a smile. For a moment, he couldn't tell if she was the female lead in the movie or the shrewd screenwriter in reality. He stood up half a beat later and patted his chest a few times. "Not bad. Chu, you've learned this before, right? Your acting skills are off the charts." Chu Seong smiled and said, "I like it, so I studied it a bit. It was very helpful for me to get into character and create a deep character setting." The director disagreed. You should be acting with such high talent. You can't bury such good acting skills. You can play the role of the master. In my opinion, this character can be added to 2 more scenes and become a highlight in the movie. Chu Seong flatly refused. This character's proportion in the movie is just right. It won't be good if it's added. A flash in the pan is the most unforgettable. It's just like the white moonlight. It's better to keep the feeling of mystery. There's no need for more scenes. The director finally calmed down from the excitement of discovering a piece of unpolished jade. He nodded and sighed. Your acting is really too good. It's an occupational disease. I can't help but get excited when I see a good actress. It's a pity that you don't have more scenes. But you're right. The script has been polished so many times. Just right now. The director thought about it again and again. It was indeed not suitable to add any more roles for Chu Seong. Moreover, the investors might not be willing. He said regretfully, I'll definitely look for you when I film my next movie. Chu Seong laughed. Director, my main job is to be a scriptwriter, not an actress. This time I'm just making a cameo appearance. I don't intend to take this path. The director did not understand. Why? You act so well and your appearance is also very good. You'll definitely become a hit. This will be good for your future development. Why don't you want to film it? It was a good thing, but Chu Seong had been in the entertainment industry all her life. She was not very obsessed with acting. Now that she was interested in writing, of course, she would spend her time on writing. What was so new about acting? It was impossible for her to come up with such a script. Chu Seong could only write for her true love. She was not interested in anything else. The director tried to persuade her for a long time, but seeing that she was determined, he could only give up. The feeling of discovering a piece of unpolished jade but not being able to see it become a treasure was really regrettable. Later on, the director would unconsciously sigh when he saw Chu Seong. Others wondered what was going on with the script. However, the people in the production crew did not have the time to guess the director's thoughts. They were all shocked that Chu Seong had actually started acting. She was even playing the role of the master that the director had not decided on before. Everyone knew how difficult that role was. To be honest, it was even more difficult to grasp the role well than the female lead. Yet, the director had actually let Chu Seong play it. While Chu Seong was filming, the entire production crew was not very calm. They were all guessing whether the director had given up or something. What was Chu Seong doing? The scriptwriter suddenly made a cameo appearance as the master. The makeup artist carefully applied makeup for Chu Seong. In the mirror, she was dressed in a red dress. She was wearing an exquisite and simple hairpin. Coupled with a delicate flame pattern between her eyebrows, she exuded an inexplicable evil aura. The makeup artist originally wanted to lengthen the ends of her eyes, but she was stopped by Chu Seong. The master's arrogance was never reflected by makeup. Even when the master was like a lotus flower rising out of the water, she would still make people think of her evil aura. This role depended on acting skills. The contrast in makeup would leave a deeper impression on the audience. Just as she was about to go on stage, Leong Jun gave her a video call. As soon as Chu Seong picked up, Leong Jun was stunned. Seong, Seong, Seong. Chu Seong looked at herself in the mirror and smiled at him. What's the matter? You don't recognize me. Do you? Why are you dressed like this? Isn't this the master's style? Are you cosplaying? Leong Jun stared at the screen without blinking. He wished he could fly over. Chu Seong was too beautiful like this. Chu Seong tilted her head slightly and smoothed her hair. She smiled and said, I haven't found a suitable candidate for the master's role. The director decided on me and I'm going to start filming immediately. You're going to film? Leong Jun praised. Our Seong Seong is really amazing. You wrote well and acted well. You're going to be famous soon. How do you know that I'm good at acting? You haven't seen it before. Course I know. The director isn't stupid. He definitely chose you because you're good. So many people haven't been chosen before. Leong Jun's face was full of pride. His eyes were full of smiles. I really want to watch you film. I don't know when the main show will be broadcast. I must edit this scene and watch it countless times. Chu Xiong laughed. Stop drooling. You're becoming more and more like an idiot. She heard someone calling her. She got up and said, I'm going to film. I'll call you later when I get back. Oi. Be careful. Don't tire yourself out. Liang Jun reminded her one last time and hung up. His mind was still filled with Chu Xiong's beauty. He had never been a fan of looks, but at this moment, he actually understood the point of being a fan of looks. His sweetheart was really beautiful. He wanted to hide her and not let anyone see her. He also wanted to spread her around the world and let everyone see how good she was. Liang Jun opened his email and wrote a diary. He recorded his feelings at the moment. The corners of his mouth were always smiling. A sweet feeling filled his heart. He finally understood the love story written in many novels. It turned out that the emotions of liking someone really couldn't be stopped. They would come out all the time to make people happy. Chu Xiong began her performance in the midst of the confusion of the entire crew. The wire, the camera, the walking, the expressions, the lines, and the actions were all perfectly integrated. She brought the entire crew into the scene. It was as if the legendary, mysterious and powerful Demoness was really in front of them and picked up a girl right in front of them. Chu Xiong's performance was on a completely world-class level. However, the biggest reason why everyone was so shocked was that their expectations of her were too low. They didn't think that she could act at all. This strong contrast shocked all of them. When they came back to their senses, they were incomparably shocked. There was an indescribable feeling. For a moment, there was no way to associate the young scriptwriter with the explosive acting skills of the crew. The director had already praised Chu Xiong for asking someone to reshoot the scene. It was obvious from the smile on his face that he was very satisfied. The assistant director asked next to him, Director, aren't you very satisfied with Chu? Why are you still sighing at her these 2 days? The director casually replied, Isn't it a pity? Chu doesn't want to be an actress. She wants to be a scriptwriter and writer. What a pity, what a pity. The mystery of the director's sigh was finally solved. After filming the role of Chu Xiong, she obediently returned to the scriptwriter's position. Many people in the crew felt as regretful as the director. Chu Xiong's performance was really a visual feast. It was really a pity that she didn't film it. The crew continued to film. The post-production staff had already begun to organize 2/3 of the previously filmed scenes. They also began to choose the scenes to be edited into the trailer. The director specially instructed them to choose the best scene of Chu Xiong's role and put it into the trailer. They couldn't put it too much or not. They wanted her to be a flash in the pan. Therefore, when the whole drama was finished and the trailer was released, the book fans found that the male and female leads, the second male and female lead, all had excellent acting skills. The effect was very good. There was also an actor who they had never seen before who played the role of the master. That arrogant look in his eyes and that disdainful smile when he turned his head was exactly the master in the world. The book didn't say where the master went at the end, nor did it say how high the master's cultivation was. They only knew that from the beginning to the end, no one had defeated the master. She didn't know where she went to live. Such a mysterious and powerful character obviously didn't have any scenes, but her presence was very strong. Now, her presence was also very strong in the trailer. It perfectly returned the feeling of the book. Everyone knew the other actors. Only Chu Xiong was a completely unfamiliar face. The book fans and passers-by all asked, Who is this person? Is she a student of the film academy? Is this her debut performance? They looked through the list of actors but didn't find such a person. Demon Emperor still needed time for post-production and wasn't in a hurry to promote. Therefore, they didn't increase the popularity of this topic and didn't say anything else after the trailer was released. Although everyone was confused, the popularity wasn't that high. In the end, they left it at that. Everyone was waiting for the broadcast of Demon Emperor, especially the book fans. They had just finished reading the whole book and were looking forward to the broadcast of the TV series. While waiting for the broadcast, everyone shifted their attention to Chu Xiong's new novel. Riding on the popularity of Demon Emperor, the new novel had very good data from the beginning. The female lead, a discarded concubine of the Cold Palace, didn't fight for favor in the harem. Instead, she directly left the palace and left the emperor. This kind of unusual plot attracted many readers. That was what happened in Chu Xiong's previous life. From a discarded concubine of the Cold Palace to Qin Wangfei and then to the emperor of the business world, from a fake couple to a lord's advisor and then to a successful retirement, there were many points that could be written. The novel perfectly highlighted the characteristics of the female lead. Even the final ending was the same as Chu Xiong's previous life. She didn't choose a member of the royal family. Instead, she brought along a legendary male pet and lived a carefree life. There were many movies and TV series where the female lead was trapped in a palace battle and couldn't break free. Although the palace battle scenes were exciting, after watching too many of them, it was inevitable that people would have doubts. Was the female lead like this? In the backyard that was like a cage, fighting endlessly. Then they would try their best to please the man who had the right to speak, lest he ruin all their hard work with a single sentence. Chu Xiong's plot, which was out of the ordinary, had been refreshed after a few palace dramas. Her novel Demon Emperor was very popular and the copyright was sold at a high price. The trailer was also very good. Therefore, when this novel was released, the copyright owner contacted Jin Jiang to buy her copyright. However, Chu Xiong didn't sell it. The copyright price was set according to the quality and the author's reputation. The author's past achievements were very important. Demon Emperor was Chu Xiong's achievement. However, Demon Emperor hadn't been aired yet, so the effect was minimal. When Demon Emperor finished airing and there were real viewership figures, then Chu Xiong's achievement would be realized. At that time, the copyright fee for her novel would also increase greatly. It wouldn't be too late to sell the copyright then. The movie version of Demon Emperor also had to wait for the drama version to finish airing before shooting. The results would directly affect the amount of investment the movie version could attract and the status of the lead actors. Therefore, there was no hurry. Chu Xiong didn't have much to do. The novel had been saved and she could take a break for a while. When it came to writing, it wasn't a good thing to keep writing. Taking a break once in a while to let the brain empty would often lead to better content. Therefore, Liang Jun's travel strategy came into use. They flew abroad together, enjoying the exotic scenery, tasting all kinds of delicacies, taking many photos and videos, and leaving their traces in every beautiful scenic spot or street. Once, the two coincidentally ran into a town's activity. Many couples were singing and dancing on the street, playing happily with each other. Seeing this, Liang Jun tentatively reached out to hold Chu Xiong's hand and looked at her with sparkling eyes. "Let's go too, okay?" Chu Xiong shook his hand and said with a smile, "Who are we going there as? Do you want to record my mood in your mailbox again?" Thinking of those mushy paragraphs in his mailbox, Liang Jun's ears couldn't help but turn red. He forced himself to calm down. You saw it." Chu Xiong's eyes were full of smiles. "I didn't see it on purpose. Yesterday you were in a hurry to get the package and left your phone on the sofa. I saw it when I sat down." Liang Jun touched his nose and smiled. "I wrote it for you. If you saw it, then so be it. I'll let you see it when we get back. How about it? Be my girlfriend, okay? Look at the atmosphere here. Isn't it suitable for a relationship? I'll never restrict you. Wherever you go, I'll go with you. Whatever you want to do, I'll do it with you. I'll let you be the head of my family, okay? Okay, Xiang. Okay." Chu Xiong kissed his silly face, took his hand and ran into the crowd. Liang Jun felt that the most beautiful fireworks were blooming in front of him. He smiled like a fool, tightly holding Chu Xiong's hand and dancing with her to the music. When the enthusiastic foreign friends around them saw the two Asian faces, they crowded around them and moved towards the square together. At the square where the white pigeons flew, The music stopped, and there were only cheers. Then the cheers disappeared in the hugs and kisses of all the couples. Chu Xiang and Liang Jun accepted each other in the square and received the blessings of the crowd like the other couples. After that they became very close. Naturally, the trip was much sweeter and more fun. Liang Jun's circle of friends was now known as the scene of a large-scale dog abuse. Many of his friends were clamoring to blacklist him. Of course he ignored them. The rest of his life was for his goddess. Zhuoyu, who was the most abused, was already numb to their sweetness. He gradually let go of his feelings for Chu Xiang. During this period of time, he also made a few friends of the opposite sex. He either met them on blind dates or at normal friends' gatherings. Then by chance he contacted Lu Yao and went on a few dates. After letting go of the prejudice of blind dates, he felt that they got along well. When he and Lu Yao became a couple, he immediately told Liang Jun. Liang Jun was a little surprised on the phone. "Didn't you dislike her in the beginning? Don't get married just for the sake of getting married. You still have to find someone you like. It's useless to find someone who likes you." Wu Yu chuckled. "Do you think I'm a child? Don't you understand these things? Lu Yao is a very good person. When you come back and formally introduce her to me, I find that she is quite cute." "Oh, that's good. Congratulations, congratulations. We two brothers are no longer single. When we go back we have to celebrate. But Xiang rarely has a holiday. Let's play for a while before going back. I'll bring you a gift." Liang Jun joked. "Don't get married too soon. At least wait for me to come back and be your best man." Zhuoyu replied, "Don't worry. I'll definitely wait for you to come back." He hesitated for a moment before reminding him, "When you and Chu Xiang are together, you seem to like doing this and that for her. Actually, I feel that she is a very opinionated and strong person. She might not like others to do things for her. Let me tell you, see if you need to pay attention. After all these years, this is the first time you like a girl. As your brother, I hope that you can get the beauty back soon and walk into the wedding hall." Liang Jun laughed. "I've already gotten the beauty back. Marriage doesn't mean that I've succeeded. Marriage can also be divorced. That's not the end. It's enough that Xiang and I are together now. I cherish every minute and every second of this time. As for you, she's very strong. That's why I always ask her before I do anything. You think that I do a lot of things, but those are all auxiliary things. The important things are all for her to make decisions. Also, who told you that strong people don't like others to care for and love them? She's looking for a boyfriend, not a brother. Just like how you found Lu Yao very cute, I like Xiang. I can also find her cute side. The power of a boyfriend is indispensable. Brother, don't worry. I know what I'm doing. Even if I'm inexperienced and do stupid things, I won't touch her bottom line. I'm very happy now, really." Zhuoyu had always been worried that Liang Jun and Chu Xiang's personalities would conflict. After hearing Liang Jun's words, he suddenly realized that he had been overthinking. Only the two of them would know if they were suitable for each other. Outsiders would only see them from an outsider's perspective. What was there to worry about? Chu Xiang had rejected him so straightforwardly. If she was unhappy with Liang Jun, she would not have agreed to be a couple. He was really overthinking. Zhuoyu smiled and said, "Okay, as long as you know what you're doing. Congratulations, you two have a good honeymoon." "Thank you, brother." Liang Jun could understand Zhuoyu's good intentions. He thanked him sincerely and continued his sweet trip to school. This trip continued until the broadcast of Demon Emperor. The movie version of Demon Emperor was ready to be filmed. She was asked to be the screenwriter. Her God Immortal and Ancient Chinese New Text had also finished. Editor Jin Jiang urged her to start a new novel. She needed to go back to discuss the simplified and traditional Chinese publishing contracts for God Immortal Mercenary and Ancient Chinese New Text. She had to start working again. The two of them returned to China. Chu Xiang felt that this trip was very rewarding. Because she went there with the purpose of observing people, it was much more fun. Inspiration burst out one after another. After a relaxing and happy trip, she really felt that her mind had become more flexible and her creativity had become stronger. The two of them had already become lovers. When Chu Xiang came back, she directly moved her things to Liang Jun's place. The two of them really started to write in the beautiful courtyard house with its modern rooms. It really had a literary mood. It was especially easy to calm down in the courtyard house. Occasionally, they would bask in the sun in the courtyard and play with the birds in the birdcage under the porch. It was very leisurely. People who saw it would not believe that this was the capital where the pace of life was super fast. Chu Xiang's first two novels were about the world she had experienced. It was mainly because she was not familiar with writing. It was easier to grasp the plot and overall rhythm by writing about her own experience. She also knew where the hotspots were and it was more attractive. However, now that she was writing the third novel, she was completely writing out of thin air. Liang Jun was a good teacher. Chu Xiang learned a lot of writing skills from him, including the outline structure, plot setting, and so on. Her learning ability was very strong. With the guidance of the Almighty, she almost learned everything Liang Jun knew. Naturally, writing a new story was no problem at all. Moreover, this time she had a certain advantage. Because she already had half a foot in the entertainment industry and was loved by many good actors, she had a better understanding of the entertainment industry's recent needs for drama series. The new novel directly followed this demand and decided to write a modern career heroine story. When her new novel was released, the readers cheered and saved it. They left comments and begged her to quickly write a new chapter. Then they did not know whether to laugh or cry. They could not keep up with Chu Xiang's speed of changing channels. From cultivation to ancient literature and then to modern literature. The difference was really big. At this time, the TV series Demon Emperor had become popular. People who did not watch it all knew the name of Demon Emperor. There was always one family member who watched Demon Emperor. Not only did Chu Xiang's copyright fee increase, but her salary as a scriptwriter also increased several times. Before her new novel was published, publishers came to ask about publishing and asked her to provide a few chapters of the manuscript. Demon Emperor went from negative reviews to its current popularity, becoming a phenomenal event in the online literature circle. It also made Emperor Chu's name resound. This was a series of chain effects. Now, it seemed that it was going to continue developing. When Chu Xiang joined the cast of the movie version of Demon Emperor, the drama version of Demon Emperor had just finished broadcasting the part about her master. The audience shouted that they wanted to give her master a different ending. They said that they liked this carefree and unrestrained master very much and wanted to see him appear again. Then, someone found that the name of the actress who played Master was added to the cast list. She was called Chu Xiang. Some attentive netizens remembered that Chu Xiang was the real name of Emperor Chu. Previously, Chu Zhe mentioned it on his Weibo. When Chu Zhe scolded Chu Xiang, he even mentioned her name. Then, someone found that the name of the scriptwriter was also Chu Xiang. So Chu Xiang was Emperor Chu. Then, the beautiful woman who played the role of the master was the author herself? This guess was too confusing. Many people refused to believe it and went to the official Weibo of Demon Emperor to ask for help. The publicity team specially asked Chu Xiang. Chu Xiang did not care. It happened that this was a hot topic. The publicity team directly released Chu Xiang's photos on set. One was of her sitting next to the director in simple clothes without makeup and reading the script. The other was of her dressed up neatly to play the role of the master. The official Weibo even wrote, "Sure enough, the author knows the character best. Cheers for Emperor Chu. Do you like the master played by Emperor Chu?" This was like a bomb that exploded into the fan circle. Was this the fat sister who was exposed in photos? Even if every fat person had potential, wasn't Chu Xiang's difference too big after she slimmed down? Moreover, not only was Chu Xiang beautiful, but she also wrote well and had excellent acting skills. Just what kind of godly author was she? Chu Xiang's fans for her looks, acting skills and books multiplied. Her popularity was already enough to make it to the hot search list. Many people spammed the phrase "life is not easy, but you have to be talented." Furthermore, it gave other passers-by a lesson on her history of being stepped on and her high-quality works and outstanding acting skills. Chu Xiong's new modern novel started to be updated at this time. Riding on this wave of popularity, the second Demon Emperor was booked. The movie version of Demon Emperor let her play the role of the master again. The scene was shorter and more fleeting, but it also highlighted her character and temperament. After that, the director would look for Chu Xiong to make a guest appearance in the characters that were especially difficult to act in the novel. Those who thought that she was only good at playing the role of the master were convinced. She was probably the only scriptwriter in the entertainment industry who relied on a few guest appearances to gain recognition for her acting skills. She didn't become an actress again, only occasionally making guest appearances for a few minutes. She put more effort into writing all kinds of genres. Readers were used to her changing genres every time she started a new novel. As for their CP fans, they had sharp eyes. After she and Liang Jun had been together for a year, they had found concrete evidence to confirm their relationship. They were so excited that they didn't know what to say. They were even happier than the CP fans in the entertainment industry. This was because they had really hit the jackpot, and it was especially sweet. There were countless official CP fans who had given them candies. Chu Xiong and Liang Jun were like the most compatible partners. They wrote together, traveled together, relaxed together, and chatted together about the entertainment industry. They attended Zhua Yu's wedding and saw Zhua Yu's family of 4 generations living together happily. They saw that Zhua Yu was a good father. They also became a couple that many people envied. They were so happy their whole lives. They were so carefree and unrestrained. Liang Jun was just as he said. He listened to Chu Xiong his whole life and accompanied her to do whatever she wanted to do. He watched Chu Xiong's novels being made into movies one after another. He watched her win awards until her hands went limp. He watched her become a master of online literature and then a gold medal scriptwriter. He was always by her side on the road of writing. The Chu family still wanted to make a fuss. Chu Xiong stood at such a high position that they wanted to stick to her even in their dreams. However, they were helpless and could only receive a meager alimony every month. The Chu family's parents worked like cows and horses for Chu Zhi all their lives. They also had to bear Chu Zhi's complaints. They were calculative and miserable. Xia Wushuang had long been submerged in the crowd. He was silent and no longer moved. They regretted targeting Chu Xiong in the past. Unfortunately, there was no medicine for regret in this world. They could only watch as Chu Xiong walked all the way to a position that they could never reach. They could only watch from afar. Everything back then seemed like a dream. After waking up from the dream, Chu Xiong shone brightly and became a role model for all authors. They didn't let this generation down. Chapter 108. When Chu Xiong left the previous world, her trophies and awards filled the 3 walls of the study. There were also many honors written into a long list displayed in her Chengdu encyclopedia. She was no longer just a great god in the web literature circle, but a well-known gold medal screenwriter, a famous author. All of her works were widely circulated, leaving an indelible mark in the literary world of the previous world. She really didn't waste her life. In the beginning, those who regretted that she didn't change careers to become an actress were convinced by her achievements in the end. Outstanding people could reach the peak in any industry. Chu Xiong was one of the best among the outstanding people. She didn't let down the path she had chosen. She had obtained great achievements in another field. Chu Xiong was especially satisfied. After all, she had experienced things that she had never seen before when she was a devil cultivator. This gave her an idea. She especially wanted to experience all kinds of industries. This way, her future life would be much more interesting. The Heaven and Earth Mirror was especially careful when it took her to transmigrate. It tried its best to help her choose fields that were not unfamiliar to her and could feel new. Then it gradually transitioned to other fields, giving her the greatest comfort. So when Chu Xiang woke up and saw the pictures of celebrities in the room, she knew that her identity this time might be related to the entertainment industry. She was the only one in the room. The room wasn't big. The decorations, furniture, and decorations weren't expensive. The most expensive things were probably the telephoto camera and laptop on the table. Chu Xiang casually glanced at it and immediately got out of bed. She stumbled to the window and tore the tape on the window. The original owner committed suicide by burning charcoal. Her brain was lacking oxygen and she couldn't see clearly. If it wasn't for the continuous spiritual energy cultivation that made her soul carry a portion of spiritual energy, she probably wouldn't even be able to move now. After tearing the tape, Chu Xiang opened the window with force. She stretched her head out and took a few deep breaths. Then she extinguished the charcoal as fast as she could and collapsed on the floor. All the windows in the room were opened by her. She closed her eyes and lay on the ground to absorb the spiritual energy. This time, it was easier to absorb the spiritual energy into her body. She absorbed the spiritual energy in 20 minutes, and it quickly nourished her body. Chu Xiang felt that the effect of the spiritual energy was good, so she didn't call for an ambulance or alert anyone. She nourished her body while integrating the memories of the original owner. The host had been learning how to draw and was now 20 years old. She was a second-year student at the Film Academy and was studying editing. Usually, he would serialize some comics online to earn some living expenses. The income was not bad. Her parents passed away when she was in her second year of high school. At that time, she felt as if her world had collapsed and she was in a daze. It was only because she was accidentally dragged to an idol's concert that she was able to slowly walk out of the haze. After that, using her childhood as motivation, she worked hard to catch up with her grades and successfully entered the Film Academy, hoping to be closer to her childhood. This year, she had earned some money from drawing comics. She became a frontline sister and went to her childhood activities to take pictures of her idols. She opened a website and used her professional skills to edit pictures and videos. She then shared them with her fans on Weibo. Her life was very fulfilling. She even agreed to a senior brother's pursuit and fell in love. It was as if everything was developing in a good direction. Who would have thought that 2 years ago, when she went to follow her childhood activities, she would unexpectedly see her childhood hugging 2 girls and being intimate in the car. After a while, she got out of the car and left. After a long time, the 2 girls also entered the hotel he was staying at. At that time, the host was very far away and wanted to use a telephoto camera to see her childhood. She didn't expect to see this scene and she was stunned. She wasn't a girlfriend fan and didn't reject idols falling in love. But it had happened more than once in her childhood. Idols were disqualified from falling in love. She told the fans to rest assured that he wouldn't fall in love. But in the end, he went to play with 2 girls in private. This wasn't a matter of falling in love or not. This was a matter of bad character. The host felt a huge impact from her idol's image collapsing in that moment. She thought that the good things were just an act for her fans. She couldn't accept it all at once. The host hurriedly ran to her boyfriend's house. She didn't have any relatives and her heart was in a mess when faced with this kind of impact. The first thing she wanted to do was to find her boyfriend and tell him. Who knew that when she entered the house with a key, she would see her boyfriend rolling around on the bed with a beautiful senior from the acting department. Her boyfriend's panicked. "Why did you suddenly come back?" Almost made the host vomit because she thought about how she often flew to various places to chase after idols. Was her boyfriend messing around with other people behind her back? At that moment, the image of her boyfriend and her childhood overlapped. Both of them had collapsed. Both of them were intimate with women. It was all her fault for not being able to see through people. She suddenly had absolute doubts about her own taste. She turned around and ran back to her rented apartment. After that, her boyfriend sent her a lot of messages. From the first apology to the later accusations, he actually accused her of only chasing after idols and not accompanying her boyfriend, which was why this kind of thing happened. Then she saw her childhood's latest interview. The host asked her what kind of girl she liked. Her childhood smiled a little shyly. I don't know, I've never thought about this kind of thing. If I want, it might be someone cute, someone who likes to smile, someone who likes me. Just like my fans, I like them the most. Because he didn't know how to fall in love. He always showed his love to his fans without any scruples. It was as if he gave all his feelings to his fans and was very good at flirting with them. In the past, the original owner also thought that he cherished his fans, but now she felt that it was extremely ironic. The two girls he found were clearly big breasts, thin waists and thin faces. She still had photos in her camera that she accidentally took at that time. That kind of empty feeling made it hard for her to breathe. When her parents died, the depression swept over her again, and it was even more turbulent and unbearable. The host was completely disheartened and didn't think it through before she burned charcoal to commit suicide. Her suicide was very impulsive. Perhaps it would have been better if she had calmed down for a day or two, but at that time, she was overwhelmed by all the negative emotions. When Chu Xiong saw the host was very regretful, but she also felt a little relieved. Because she had experienced too much pain in this life, she wanted to drink Meng Po's soup to forget all of this. She was too lucky that Chu Xiong could protect her in the next life, so she was willing to give this body to Chu Xiong. Before she left, she only sighed. If only I could be a fan of a really good idol. How happy would that be? It would be enough to support me through all the darkness. Her words touched Chu Xiong very much, because she was once the idol of tens of thousands of Raos. She even held a farewell concert when she was 80 years old. She still remembered how touched she was by the sincere love of those fans. The host really liked idols and worked hard to improve herself. But she found that she was a fan of the wrong person and all the good things were fake. She felt that the host's suicide had nothing to do with chasing idols. The host's mental strength was too weak and there was no one to help her. In a moment of impulse and all the negative emotions gathered together, the host decided to commit suicide. After Chu Xiong's body was better, she opened her eyes again. Seeing the dozens of posters on the wall, she sighed. Whether it was chasing idols or making friends, at the beginning you only saw the surface. Only after you understood the other person would you know whether they were people or ghosts. It was a pity that the host's luck wasn't good and she only met bad people. Now that she had forgotten the past, she hoped that she would have a better life in the next life. Chu Xiong got up and went to the bathroom to take a bath. She waved her hand and the heaven and earth mirror appeared to reflect her appearance. The people she transmigrated to had a body that was compatible with her soul. They also looked similar to her, so they were all beautiful. But because the host had to go to school, draw manga, and run around chasing idols, she didn't have a good rest. Her hair was dry, the dark circles under her eyes were serious, and her skin was a bit yellow, making her beauty drop by a few points. Chu Xiong was a beauty lover. As long as her facial features were good, she was ready to become beautiful as soon as possible. This time she didn't need to lose weight or do laser surgery. Becoming beautiful was too easy. She just needed to nourish her body with spiritual energy. When she was comfortable, the takeout she ordered arrived. Chu Xiong ate a nutritious meal and dialed the number of the original owner's boyfriend. Hello, Chu Xiong. You didn't answer my calls, didn't reply to my messages. You didn't respond to anything I said to you. Are you a child? Can't we talk face to face? Chu Xiong coldly said. From what you said, the one who was wrong was me. Yuan Lang, where's your face? Yuan Lang was silent for a moment. I was wrong, but it has already happened. It's useless for us to blame each other. The failure of a relationship is definitely a problem with both people. You're always not by my side, so I also feel empty and lonely. You're cheating on me, so aren't you the same? You chase after another man, who can stand it? I think you're mentally cheating. Let's break up. It's useless. We'll pretend we don't know each other when we see each other in the future. Chu Xiong wasn't interested in arguing about the past with him. He wasn't her boyfriend. If he was her boyfriend, she would probably destroy him on the spot. Yuan Lang didn't mind breaking up and immediately agreed. But he hesitated. We'll part on good terms. We'll both be in the entertainment industry in the future. There's no need to make it too ugly, right? Let's forget about this. I owe you a favor. I hope you won't say anything you shouldn't say to others. I'll help you if there's a chance in the future. Chu Xiong bluntly refused. I don't need your favor, and I'm not interested in your business. As long as you don't cheat me in the future, I won't bother with you. That's it. Chu Xiong hung up and blocked all his contact information. She also deleted the photos on her phone. There were still some gifts from Yuan Lang in the house, but she wasn't feeling well, so she didn't touch them. Chu Xiong laid on the soft and comfortable bed and searched for idols in the entertainment industry. She had been an idol, an actress, a CEO, a writer, and a screenwriter before. Many people followed her, worshipped her, loved her, and supported her in every life. Since she had transmigrated into a groupie in this life, she also wanted to experience the life of a groupie. From another perspective, she wanted to understand what kind of life those people who liked her lived. This could also be considered helping the original owner fulfill her wish. She would be a true fan of a good idol and chase them to the end. There were many idols in the entertainment industry. There were beautiful, cute, handsome, and all kinds of idols. Chu Xiong casually clicked on their works and learned about them from the original owner's memories. She first eliminated those with dark histories. The original owner was a frontline woman, so she knew a few of them. Occasionally, she would chat with them and know some information about the industry. So some idols might have good public relations, but people on the front line still knew some real news. They just didn't spread it. Chu Xiong casually looked. Some of them obviously didn't perform well on stage. It was fine if they didn't perform well for a while. After all, there were many factors that made people popular. But if they didn't perform well for several years, she felt there was no need to be a fan. Maybe they really weren't good at performing on stage. If they changed their career to acting, they could act seriously. But if they didn't perform well on stage, it was obvious that they were bad at earning money from fans. Some of them had average looks. She was a fan of looks, so she directly eliminated them. Some of them were already 30 years old. She felt that she wouldn't be able to chase them as idols. At 30 years old, their career was already set and they were starting to consider not being an idol. They would be less likely to appear and would have to go into seclusion to study their works. Then why should she chase them? Chu Xiong still wanted to be a very active fan. Her idols should be more active and show up often. She could chase them everywhere. That would be interesting. And it would be best if they were young and outstanding in all aspects. They should be motivated, have self-control, and have a high IQ and EQ. Only then could she chase them for a long time. Chu Xiong chose idols like she was sifting through resumes. She passed them one after another. After a long time, she still couldn't find one that she liked. She was dizzy from all the different songs, so she just turned off her phone and went to sleep. Her body was the most important thing. Reiki spontaneously nourished her body. Because she had a little bit of Reiki in her soul this time, the nourishment went particularly smoothly. In just one night she felt refreshed. The side effects of burning charcoal all disappeared. Even the tiredness of the original host from running back and forth disappeared. Chu Xiong ate a nutritious breakfast and looked at the school schedule. The first semester of the second year was coming to an end. There were a lot of things to review. There wasn't an editing class every year. The original host's class was taught by a famous editing professor. It was very rare. Chu Xiong decided to study hard in school and learn this technique. Editing wasn't just cutting together video material. There were also film, TV, and other kinds of material. There were also storytelling methods and all kinds of techniques that belonged to the director's department. If you dug into it well, the knowledge was very deep. Even if the material was bland, a first-level editor could still make the content very wonderful. It was indeed a technique. Moreover, Chu Xiong thought about how she had been an actress her whole life, but she never understood what a director did. In her previous life, she was always by the director's side as a screenwriter. She saw a lot, but she didn't have a deep understanding. Since she was in the director's department this time, She might as well go to the classes when she had time. Anyway, it was something she didn't understand. She would learn more if she had the chance. Although it seemed like an ordinary entertainment industry, but thinking about it carefully, there were still many things she didn't understand. Chu Xiang packed up the things she didn't want and donated them. Then she went to class on time. The original host's schedule of chasing idols was unavoidable. She would ask for leave and skip classes, but fortunately she was good at studying and didn't fall behind much. Chu Xiang didn't find any idols she wanted to be a fan of, so she just stayed at school. She listened attentively in class, asked the teacher questions after class, and then went to the library to read professional books on editing. Thanks to her strong divine sense, she could remember the contents of a book after reading it twice. After reading it more and asking the teacher, she could understand the meaning. She was able to catch up very quickly. Like this, the original host's fan site hadn't been updated for half a month. Many fans left messages asking her what happened and why there was no movement. Chu Xiang didn't remember the fan site on Weibo at all. She only remembered it when she received a WeChat message from another fan site sister. The fan site sister asked her what happened. There were a few people who knew about the original host's childhood itinerary. She should have posted a picture when she came back. But she didn't post anything and was silent, which was a bit puzzling. Chu Xiang politely replied, "Sorry, I'm no longer a fan. I won't follow the childhood itinerary in the future and won't open a fan site." "What? No longer a fan? Why? Didn't you like childhood for 3 years? What's going on? Did you see something? Did you misunderstand something? Don't be so impulsive and stop being a fan. You like childhood for so long but you don't know what kind of person he is. Don't hurt him, don't misunderstand him. He's so good to us." The other side sent a long string of messages and several voice messages. Chu Xiang didn't reply. The original host and the other fans often met and didn't count as good friends, so there was no need to talk too much. After all, she was no longer a fan and they still loved her deeply. It was easy to quarrel with them. The other side might have understood her meaning and didn't ask again. She only said, "It's a pity that this fan site is closed. Can you transfer it to me?" The original host put a lot of effort into managing this fan site. It already had more than 600,000 fans and was an active fan site. Moreover, there were so many carefully made original Weibo posts and so many photos and videos. It would be a pity if it was gone. But the original host was no longer a fan and was still very sad. Chu Xiang had no obligation to keep this fan site open for childhood. She directly deleted her Weibo and deleted her Weibo account. That woman was so angry that she sent a lot of harsh words on WeChat. Chu Xiang thought about it and decided to chase other celebrities in the future, so she changed her WeChat account and abandoned it. It was considered a farewell to her past. She was in the library when she was doing this. Yuan Lang watched her for a long time. When he saw that she was packing her things and was about to leave, he came over and sat beside her. "You're not chasing celebrities recently. I often see you in school. Are you afraid of failing?" Chu Xiang frowned slightly. "Move, I have nothing to say to you. Please pretend that you don't know me when you see me in the future." Yuan Lang was a little embarrassed. "Chu Xiang." Chu Xiang didn't wait for him to speak and stood up with her books. She moved her chair and walked around him. Her attitude was very obvious. Yuan Lang wasn't willing to lower himself to coax her. Seeing this, he completely gave up on the idea of getting back together and didn't chase after her. Chu Xiang went home and started to do the homework given by the teacher. She edited a short film. She wasn't very familiar with these operations, so she did it very slowly. When she finished it, she still had to draw comics. The original owner was very good at this and it had already become muscle memory. The characters that Chu Xiang drew with the board were also very good. However, there was a wall between writing and comics. Although Chu Xiang could come up with a good story, she wasn't good at drawing and expressing the story like the original owner. She could only take it slow and draw little by little and then edit it. The speed of updating was super slow and she lost a lot of readers. But there was no other way. She wanted to upload a good comic and couldn't just be perfunctory. This was also a new field and she wasn't very interested in it for the time being. It could also be a hobby to pass the time and learn more about drawing. After finishing all this, it was already past dinner time. Chu Xiang casually ate some snacks and watched some variety shows that her idols participated in. Some idols had no sense of variety at all. Although they had good resources, they were very awkward in variety shows. Some idols had a strong sense of variety and felt a kind of contrast when they lost the burden of being an idol. Chu Xiang wanted to choose a good idol to be her fan, so she was more or less picky. She had been watching their performance coldly from the sidelines. When she went to bed at night, she suddenly realized that this wasn't the way to chase idols. Even if she filtered out a good idol, it was just admiration. At most, it was a passerby's affection. How could it be considered chasing idols? Fans of idols must like them from the bottom of their hearts. Only then would they have the motivation to chase idols. Otherwise, what would they chase? So she would never find an idol like this. What she should do was to let nature take its course. At most, she would watch more of the entertainment industry. Only when she naturally fell in love with someone could she truly become a fan of idols. She couldn't rush it. Thinking of this, Chu Xiang let nature take its course. She watched TV as entertainment and prepared to go to bed after a while. Before going to bed, she clicked on the hot search. She didn't expect that the Weibo account she deleted would be on the hot search. The original owner's idol was a popular idol, but one of his big fans suddenly left, shutting down the fan page of hundreds of thousands of fans, leaving nothing behind. It looked like the idol's secret had been discovered by the fan page's sister, causing him to receive a lot of attention. Although this hot search was caused by Chu Xiang, it didn't seem to have much to do with her. Everyone was concerned about what she did in her childhood. How did she anger a website sister and cause her to leave so decisively? Many childhood fans commented under the topic. Chu Xiang glanced at it and didn't look at it again. It was normal to leave a fan. It was just that the original owner's fan received zero attention, but only a little. As long as Chu Xiang didn't say anything, this hot search would go down in 2 hours. She didn't take it seriously at all. She watched the show and went to bed. Without an idol for the time being, the most important thing was to do well in the final exam. It would be too embarrassing if she failed the exam as a newcomer. After that, Chu Xiang devoted all her energy to her studies. Every time she revised, she would draw and watch programs when she was tired. Being alone was actually very fulfilling. At the end of the term, she found her classmates from the acting department to film some things and edit it for the professor. She didn't fail the exam and could relax and enjoy the holidays. And during this holiday's New Year's gala, she finally saw her favorite star. Chapter 109. During the Spring Festival, Chu Xiang spent it alone in the house. Everything was as usual and there was no festive atmosphere. She made a table of New Year's Eve dinner, which was considered a little ceremonial. Then, she turned on the TV to watch the annual Spring Festival Gala. There were many celebrities on the Spring Festival Gala, and most of them were the most popular celebrities of the year. They sang, acted, and promoted some positive things. This kind of program was actually not to Chu Xiang's liking. After watching for a while, she planned to enter the software to choose a variety show. Just as she picked up the remote control, she suddenly saw 4 youthful and handsome youths appear on the TV. The youth who started singing first made Chu Xiang's heart skip a beat. His voice was too beautiful. She put down the remote control and watched the 4 youths sing a song about pursuing their dreams. The song was very energetic, and the 4 youths were also exuding their own youthful vitality. A kind of youthful vitality hit her in the face, making the program that Chu Xiang found boring brighten up. She looked at the 4 boys. Some of them were better at dancing, some of them sang better, some of them were very good-looking, and some of them had a very sweet smile. They formed a group, and the tacit understanding made up for all the shortcomings, highlighting each of their strengths. They performed really well. and her gaze was always unconsciously attracted to the boy who started singing first. The boy's voice was very pleasant, and his singing was very skillful. He was very emotional and his dancing was not bad. In the group, he did not dance the best or the worst, but the range of every movement was particularly suitable for him, making him shine on the stage. The boy looked at the camera, and Chu Seong saw the light in his eyes through the screen. They were bright and full of spirit, with a hint of immaturity and infinite vitality. For a moment, she felt as if she was looking at him, and she accidentally fell into his lively eyes. Chu Seong remembered that in the past, her fans always said that there were stars in her eyes. She thought that at this moment, she also seemed to see the shining stars in the boy's eyes. It was a touching love. The boy sang a little and suddenly raised his hand a little when he was singing. He immediately put it down and continued singing as if nothing had happened. Chu Seong instantly laughed out loud. This boy definitely wanted to interact with the audience to warm up the atmosphere. Thinking that it was the Spring Festival Gala, he hurriedly stopped, as if his whole body was full of restraint. He was really too cute. The four of them finished their song very quickly. The youths smiled and said their blessings together. Then they bowed politely and left the stage obediently. That look was especially lovable. It was the kind of feeling that was so handsome, so cute, and so obedient. These characteristics didn't seem out of place when they appeared on their bodies. It only made people feel endless youth. Chu Seong took the tablet and checked the program list for the Spring Festival Gala. She found out that the four-member group that sang just now was called SJ Boys. SJ was the Pinyin acronym for Four Seasons. It represented the 4 seasons of spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Each season was beautiful and inseparable. Only when they were combined together would it be a complete year, continuing on in a continuous cycle. SJ also meant Shadow Century. It was a beautiful expectation for them, hoping that they would become more and more outstanding. The boy who had attracted Chu Seong's attention was the group leader, Zhua Yichen. He was only 17 years old and was still in his 3rd year of high school. Chu Seong had checked his information. He had won the national championship in a singing competition when he was 14 years old. But after that, his resources were very ordinary. The entertainment industry wasn't very friendly to children who sang. They only accepted children who acted. Then a year later, the company that Zhua Yichen signed with let him and 3 other boys form SJ Boys. They released their first album and sang 5 very positive songs. The group unexpectedly became popular. Now that they had debuted for 2 years, their fans continued to grow. They had always maintained a positive image. This time they were invited to perform on the Spring Festival Gala. Chu Seong found the videos of their performances and watched them while eating. What was broadcasted on the Spring Festival Gala could no longer attract her attention. In her eyes, there were only 4 youthful and energetic boys singing and dancing. In the 2 years since their debut, SJ Boys had performed many times. They had appeared on almost all the famous programs and had also participated in various galas on several channels. In the beginning, they were a little excited when they went on stage. Later on, their performances became more and more stable. Their control of the stage became better and better, and their answers to the host's questions became more and more natural. It was obvious that they had been improving in the past 2 years. Every time they appeared, they were better than the last. Chu Seong wanted such idols. They were motivated, had self-control, were willing to work hard, and were talented. Moreover, the 4 of them were quite good in their studies. They were all 17 years old. Zhua Yichen and another member, Xia Zhou, had studied for a year. They were all in their 3rd year of high school. The remaining 2 members, Xiao Ran and Geng Xian, were in their 2nd year of high school. Of course, positive idols couldn't neglect their studies. Therefore, their results had always been good. The 4 of them also knew how to play musical instruments. They could play guitar and piano. It was obvious that they were working hard and were improving. It was also obvious that their dancing was getting better each time. There was also the stage presence, the various expressions on stage, and so on. Chu Xiang was very picky when it came to choosing idols. Although she had changed her mind now, she couldn't help but subconsciously observe their professional abilities when watching their videos. It couldn't be helped. After all, she used to be a high-quality idol who was very strict with herself. Fortunately, what she saw was that they were improving in all aspects. None of them slacked off. This feeling was simply amazing. Just looking at them made her feel like she was living up to her youth. It was as if seeing them constantly working hard would give her the motivation to work hard. It was no wonder that many fans used to show her their report cards. They were successful because of her influence. That time she was puzzled. She didn't teach them how to study. How could it be because of her? It turned out that this was the feeling of wanting to chase after the light. She liked that idol, so she couldn't help but want to follow in his footsteps and become a better version of herself. Chu Xiang watched a lot of Si Rao stage performances, variety shows, and TV dramas. She also found Zhuo Yichen's solo stage shows and programs to watch. She quite liked the four boys, but after watching them, she still liked Zhuo Yichen the most. This guy liked to act cool from the very beginning. He was easy to get high on stage. Some people might not like this type, but liking was a very personal thing. Chu Xiang liked this boy at first sight. He had a feeling of, this is my place on stage. He was very relaxed, very natural, and very high. It was a kind of natural typhoon. It was a kind of ability that could control the stage and make the audience excited. Many of his unconscious movements could attract the sharp swords of the fans. Chu Xiang was a little thick-skinned. She had only seen this kind of talent in herself before. It was really a gift from the master. The most important thing was that Zhuo Yichen was very good-looking. Chu Xiang had seen a lot of covers and print advertisements of him. When he smiled, he could be very cute, gentle, and obedient. When he didn't smile, he could be very cold and domineering. He was the kind of person who could be salty and sweet on the internet. He was completely Chu Xiang's favorite. Chu Xiang browsed through his resources until it was bright. With the nourishment of spiritual energy, she didn't feel tired at all. After this night of understanding, she liked this boy more and more. Some of the so-called scandals on the internet were not real. At first glance, it was obvious that they were fabricated. She could rest assured that this idol was a fan. Chu Xiang bought a membership for music software and downloaded all of Zhuo Yichen's songs to her phone. There were only 12 original songs and covers in total, which was a little. She also downloaded all of their songs. They had debuted for 2 years and there were 15 songs. It was quite a high production. Then she started to make up Zhuo Yichen's variety shows, leading roles, and guest appearances in movies and TV series. There were a lot of things that she could do by changing her perspective to that of a fan. After making up these, she went to make up Zhuo Yichen's various interviews, reports, trending searches, news, honors and scandals, and so on. She also included the Weibo posts he had posted in the past, some spoilers taken by fans, photos and videos posted by the female fans, and various interesting clips on Bilibili. She also had to understand the fan war between the 4 members of the group. Any group would have a lot of loyal fans who would have conflicts with the fans of the other members. They hoped that their idols would go solo, and in any case, they felt that the other members were not good. This kind of fan war from time to time would often release a lot of scandals about the other members. Most of them were fake, and it was obvious that it was illogical. However, the art of words could sometimes be very brainwashing. There would still be people who would take it seriously, resulting in an XX incident. Chu Xiang went through the various information and scandals to understand them. In the process of understanding all kinds of information and scandals, she could understand each member of the group better. She also understood Zhuo Yichen's situation after his debut and growth. She had been an idol in the entertainment industry for a long time, so she had a deep understanding of the things in the industry. She could vaguely sense the grievances that Zhuo Yichen had suffered and the changes that he had made. Then, she felt a faint heartache and hoped that he could continue to live a carefree life. This was probably the feeling of being a fan of an idol. Chu Xiang set the photo of Zhuo Yichen smiling at the camera as her phone's wallpaper. She looked at the phone and smiled. Now that she had an idol, she had to properly chase after stars in the future. She found out that SJ Boy Group's recent itinerary was to perform at Mango TV during the Lantern Festival. She hurriedly looked for channels to buy tickets. However, it was already too late to buy tickets. The tickets had already been sold out. It was her first time chasing after stars, so she didn't know what to do. She found a way from the original owner's memory and started to go to Tieba, Weibo, forums, and other places to post requests for tickets. She also registered a new Weibo account and followed Zhuoyichen and SJ Boy Group, as well as every member of the group. Then she followed Zhuoyichen's fan club, anti-defamation website, ranking website, escort team, night order, and other websites. From them, she could see many photos and videos that couldn't be found anywhere else. Every half an hour, the ranking website would post a Weibo post with various links. The Weibo post contained the address and tutorials. The various rankings that Zhuoyichen was on could be found on the ranking website. Chu Xiang followed the tutorials and step-by-step operations, sending flowers and points to Zhuoyichen. There was also an anti-defamation website. There were various links that told fans who to complain about and what the reason for the complaint was. Chu Xiang clicked on the complaint button and completed the basic anti-defamation campaign. She had just finished her anti-defamation campaign when she saw Zhuoyichen's night order post on Weibo. There was a marketing account that posted news related to Zhuoyichen's Spring Festival Gala. She wanted to go to those Weibo posts to control the comments. In other words, she wanted to be at the top of those Weibo posts to praise Zhuoyichen's outstanding performance. Chu Xiang went to like the comments on her own Weibo post. She was quite interested in doing many things with these fans and understood the basic daily routines of the fans. However, she also knew from the original owner's memory that the original owner didn't do these basic daily routines. She followed her idols around for events and took photos of the idol's latest situation from a distance. Then she called on the fans of the website to do these basic daily routines. It was equivalent to her role as a manager. There was strength in numbers. It was indeed much better to do this than to do it alone. Moreover, after the website had gathered more fans, they could call on the fans to support their idols. For example, they could do charity work together, celebrate their idols' birthdays together, order the same signage together, participate in activities where their idols appeared together, and so on. They were much busier than the fans who did the basic daily routines in front of their screens. However, she had just started and was still at the beginner stage. She didn't want to do such complicated things. She just wanted to improve the rankings with everyone. She couldn't be addicted to this kind of thing. She looked at the various statistics for a while and then focused on her manga. This manga had to be updated every day. She had to finish the serialized manga of the original owner before she could go back to school. Moreover, she still had many professional books to read. She had to leave some time for her own life. Her phone rang with a ding. It was the notification for special followers on Weibo. Chu Xiang only followed Zhuoyichen. She took the phone and saw that it was indeed Zhuoyichen's Weibo post. J-Boy Zhuoyichen V. On the first day of the new year, a new year has begun. I send my best wishes to all of you. I hope that all of you can cherish life, work hard, and pursue your dreams in the new year. I also hope that all of you will be safe and healthy. I will continue to work hard. We will continue to walk together. Good luck. Chu Xiang refreshed the page. There were already more than 5,000 comments in the comment section. She clicked to forward the post with a caption. In the new year, I hope you will be safe and healthy. I wish you a successful college entrance exam. The college entrance exam was probably the most important thing for the youth this year. Being safe and healthy was Chu Xiang's best wish for him. After she posted it, the comment was already drowned out by the comments of other fans. Because she was a new account, her weight was too low. Once she posted a comment, it disappeared without a trace. She didn't really understand what weight a comment had. In any case, she knew that it was something that could only be gained through slowly raising an account. Her comment was too ordinary compared to the other fans. It was so ordinary that it didn't seem like a fan at all. Brother, I love you. You're right in everything. We will walk together in the future. Baby, you're the best. Take care of yourself. As long as you're good, I'm good. Ah, I'm so touched. There's no reason to like you. I'll love you forever. You have to be happy. Heartwarming Chen's best wishes. I've received them. I will definitely walk together with you. Moi. Moi moi moi. Chu Xiang looked at it for a while. She felt that she couldn't say something so mushy, so she decided to forget about it. After she was done liking, forwarding and commenting, she continued to draw pictures. After a while, she suddenly thought that she could draw a cartoon of Zhuo Yichen. Her interest was piqued. She immediately found the video of Zhuo Yichen's performance on the stage of the Spring Festival Gala. She found the best angle to pause the video and observed Zhuo Yichen's characteristics. Then she began to draw. The cartoon had to highlight the individual's characteristics so that people could recognize who it was at a glance. However, it couldn't be as similar as a sketch. It needed a unique kind of cuteness. Chu Xiang continued to draw and modify the drawing. She focused on Zhuo Yichen's eyes. It was very lifelike. She also drew the lines and characteristics of Zhuo Yichen's red suit. It reminded people of the boy on the stage of the Spring Festival Gala at a glance. It was the first time that Chu Xiang drew a cartoon based on a real person. She wasn't very familiar with it. Took her 4 hours to finish it. However, the result was very good. Even though she was very picky, she was very satisfied with it. She colored the drawing and signed her own cursive signature at the side as a logo. When she was an idol in her previous life, people couldn't tell that it was Chu Xiang at all. However, the strokes and arcs were very beautiful and artistic. Chu Xiang couldn't be bothered to think of a fake name or logo. She directly signed with her own cursive signature. She looked at the completed drawing again and posted it on Weibo. Chu Huangvi, the dazzling little brother of Yichen on the Spring Festival Gala SJ boy. Zhuo Yichen. She didn't have any fans on her new account. She only Zhuo Yichen. Zhuo Yichen was at by countless people every time. It was impossible to see him. Others couldn't see him either. Therefore no one commented on her. The beautiful drawing she drew was beautiful on Weibo alone. However, it didn't matter. She drew it because she was interested in it. It was pleasing to the eye to put it there. She used the drawing as her phone's screensaver. When she finally finished drawing the serialized comic, she heaved a sigh of relief. She lay on her bed and continued to post for tickets. She met a few scalpers and the price increased by 4 or 5 times. She remembered that fans wanted to boycott the scalpers, so she didn't buy tickets. She went everywhere to look for tickets and even joined a few fan groups. As the saying goes, the emperor pays off. When it was almost midnight, she finally waited for someone to talk to her privately. The two of them talked about Zhuo Yichen and confirmed that the other party was Zhuo Yichen's fan. Then they started to talk about the transfer of tickets. I only have 1 ticket. Are you going by yourself? What a pity. I have something urgent to attend to and can't go. I can only transfer the ticket. Chu Xiang replied. I'm going by myself. Is your ticket in the front or back row? Do you have a rough location? This ticket is especially good. It's in the front row and it's facing the stage. I want to cry. I used all my luck in my life to get this ticket. It's like winning the lottery to get such a good front row seat. Why can't I go? Chu Xiang was a little surprised. She thought that she would have to use binoculars at the back row. She didn't expect to be in the front row. She immediately said, I'll transfer the money to you now. Transfer the ticket to me. You can still go and see Yichen if you have the chance. She thought for a moment and added, Don't be sad. It seemed that fans sometimes comforted each other like this. She was already a member of Zhuo Yichen's fan group, Xing Chen. It was time for her to join in and interact with other fans. Answer a few more questions. I won't raise the price. I just hope that such a good seat can be transferred to a true fan who really likes Yichen. The other party really treasured the ticket and was very cautious. She was afraid that other fans would take advantage of the ticket, so she asked a series of questions. With Chu Xiang's memory, she had just read most of Zhuo Yichen's resources and information. She answered the other party's questions easily and only got one question wrong. "I'm sorry, I'm a new fan. I really don't understand the last question," Chu Xiang explained politely. The other party was shocked. "You're a new fan and you know so much. It seems like you really like Yichen." The last one was indeed something that happened a long time ago. When her brother had just debuted, there was one time when he saw a lot of people crowding at the airport and almost bumping into a mother carrying a baby. He shouted for everyone to stop crowding. In the end, some people took it out of context. He scolded the passers-by to stop crowding. I have a complete video of that time. I'll send it to you. Every time Blackie talks about this, don't misunderstand him. He's a very heartwarming brother. Chu Xiang quickly received the video sent by the other party. It was a video of Zhuo Yichen seeing a mother carrying a baby. He immediately asked everyone to stop crowding and then reached out to block the passers-by. The cause and effect were clear. However, if it was a screenshot, it would be easy to hack it. Blackie always used such things. She saved the video and replied, "Don't worry. If someone uses this Blackie Yichen in the future, I'll help to explain. Yichen fans will definitely believe in Yichen. I won't doubt him just because of a few words from others. There has to be evidence for everything." Yes. There has to be evidence. If there isn't evidence, what else can there be? It's true that one's mouth is good at spreading rumors, but one's legs are broken to refute them. "Sister, this ticket is 2,000 yuan. Take it. When you go, you have to support Yichen." New fans might not know this, but the fans at the scene shouting Yichen's name together is also a very important support. It directly represents Yichen's popularity. Don't be shy. When the time comes, shout it out loudly. Oh right, Yichen will be singing a solo of his new song. "Sister, you can learn it first. When the time comes, it'll be even better if the fans sing along with him." Chu Xiang quickly transferred the 2,000 yuan to her. She listened to a lot of things about the support and also talked about Zhuo Yichen that she didn't know about. Chu Xiang listened to her patiently. It could be said that she understood the other side of fans. Celebrities basically didn't know about this kind of thing, but fans would do their best to protect their celebrities. Even if it was just a ticket, they had to ensure that the person who received it was their own fan, not a fake fan or a Blackie. As long as it was confirmed that the other party was their own fan, their attitude would change. It would be as if they were all a family. They could gently comfort, sincerely encourage, and fight with a common enemy. It was as if they could be tied together because of one person. When old fans treated new fans, they would gently and patiently tell them about Zhuo Yichen's works and what good points he had. They hoped that the new fans would become true fans and not have any misunderstandings about their idol. Chu Xiang couldn't help but wonder if her fans were like this in private in the past. Should be. When she was old, those fans who became old men and women even brought their grandchildren to support her. It was probably a special kind of feeling to chase after an idol like a marathon for a lifetime. It was real and deep, and the fans had sacrificed a lot. Chu Xiang chatted a lot with this girl. The girl asked her to take a few photos of Zhuo Yichen at the scene. It would be even better if she could send a video to her to make up for her regret that she couldn't go to the scene. Chu Xiang agreed without hesitation. It was a piece of cake for her, so why not? The time to chase after idols and get all kinds of resources passed very quickly. Chu Xiang didn't even have time to understand Zhuo Yichen clearly before the Lantern Festival Gala arrived. She flew over a day in advance and found a good hotel to stay in. This was the first time she was chasing after an idol. She suddenly realized that chasing after idols like this was quite expensive. On-screen fans only needed to see their idols on the screen and post on Weibo to make a list of their idols. At most, it didn't cost much to get a membership. But if she flew to various places to support her idols, the air tickets, accommodation, and ticket costs were not a number. She had to make money now. The first thing Chu Xiang thought of was her major. She studied editing. Many companies needed this kind of skill. It would be best if she could take a part-time job and do some work. With this and her income from manga, it should be enough to chase after idols. There were many other ways to make money, but Chu Xiong felt that it was better to use her major to make money. She could understand the field better and strengthen her professional ability. And if there were clients who were picky, the practical effect would be much better than the teachers in school. After all, clients wouldn't be merciful and wouldn't tolerate mistakes. It should be very helpful for her to improve her skills. Fortunately, the original owner still had some savings. It was enough for her to spend for a while. After a while, she should be able to get a stable job. Chu Xiong was more confident, so she didn't worry too much about it. She didn't skimp on food at all. The quality of life couldn't be lowered. The second was the Lantern Festival party. Chu Xiong wore a thin red down jacket and a hair clip in the shape of Mickey Mouse ears. The two words Ichin were written on both ears. When she turned on the switch, it emitted a yellow and white halo. This was Zhuo Yichen's support color. He represented winter in spring, summer, autumn and winter. His support color was white. Because he likes stars and his fans' names were also stars, there were many yellow embellishments in the white to represent his stars. Every time there were many fans sitting together, this support color really looked like a field of white snow filled with shining stars. It was especially beautiful. Chu Xiong carried the telephoto lens SLR camera this time, so she didn't bring any bigger support items. She listened to the girl's suggestion and ordered a white glow stick with a yellow star at the top. She also ordered a yellow star stud, a bright brooch, and a star sticker on her cheeks. So now she had a small sticker on her face, a star-shaped object on her earlobes and chest, and a hair clip on her head. Anyone who saw her would know that she was Zhuo Yichen's fan. However, it wasn't conspicuous. Other fans of Rao did the same. She also saw many other Zhuo Yichen fans like her. She entered the venue with the crowd and found a seat. Everyone was standing and no one was sitting, so she didn't sit. She turned on the camera and began to look for various positions and angles. After a few test shots, she didn't forget to take a picture of the scene and send it to the girl. There were many celebrities singing and dancing at the Lantern Festival, so this kind of event was much more interesting. It was Chu Xiong's first time watching someone perform below the stage. Occasionally, she heard the deafening screams around her. The feeling was completely different from when she was on stage. It was a refreshing feeling. She also had a smile on her face. When she saw a good performance, she cheered with the people around her. There were a few girls behind her. They looked at her for a while and gently patted her on the back. They leaned close to her and asked loudly, "Hello, are you Yichen's fan?" Chu Xiong pointed at the headband on her head. "Yeah, what's wrong?" "Nothing. We saw you holding a camera. It looks like Sister Jean, but I don't think we've seen you before." One of the girls smiled sweetly and asked, "Are you going to take a picture of Yichen later?" "Yes, that's right." "Wow, this is a great position. Good luck. You must take the best picture of Yichen." The girl raised the large signboards in their hands for her to see and smiled. "When the time comes, we'll shout with all our might and get him to look over here. Then you'll be able to take a picture of him looking at the camera. Can you share it with us after you're done?" The girls beside her looked at Chu Xiong excitedly and expectantly. "Please, can you share it with us? We don't have a telephoto camera. The person in the picture will be good, but it won't look good. Please stop." Chu Xiong smiled at the teenage girls and said, "Sure, no problem. Let's do our best later." Yes. The girls nodded vigorously and were extremely happy. J-Boy was quite popular now, so they didn't have to wait long for them to go on stage. Chu Xiong had just focused on the camera when she heard a shout from behind her. "Zhuo Yichen! Zhuo Yichen! Zhuo Yichen!" The other fans were also shouting. Some were shouting the names of the four members and some were shouting SJ-Boy. The screams of the audience represented their popularity. Chu Xiong could feel the enthusiasm of the surrounding audience, and her lips curled up. She focused on taking pictures of Zhuo Yichen. The advantage of the telephoto camera was that she could clearly see Zhuo-Yichen and it wasn't blurry at all. The four boys sang and danced, getting closer and closer to Chu Xiong's position. Chu Xiong's pictures became even better. The previous host had learned how to draw and Chu Xiong was also learning how to edit. She was very familiar with the composition of a picture and kept pressing the shutter, taking good pictures one after another. Her position was facing Zhuo-Yichen. When Zhuo-Yichen walked to the front of the stage, the distance between them was only about 10 meters. At this time, the girls behind her exploded with screams, loudly shouting Zhuo-Yichen's name. Chu Xiong took the time to look back. They raised the signs in their hands high up and it said, Zhuo-Yichen will walk together in the future. The big words were very eye-catching. Zhuo-Yichen was on stage and the music was very loud, so he couldn't really hear the shouts. However, because he was facing this direction, he could see the large banner and the red-dressed Chu Xiong who was holding a camera and wearing a Yichen headband. Then when it was his teammates' turn to sing, he slightly smiled at Chu Xiong's camera. Chu Xiong immediately captured his smile, as well as the many times he glanced at her from time to time. When the song reached the asterisk part, Zhuo-Yichen was already high. He jumped on stage and shouted loudly, "Happy Lantern Festival! Everyone, let's sing together, okay?" Their group song was relatively easy to sing. Chu Xiong had already learned it. She took pictures and sang along with them. The girls behind her were also singing loudly. Together with the surrounding fans, the effect was really extraordinary. Chu Xiong thought that the girl who sold her the tickets was probably still anxiously waiting. She quickly took out her phone and took a live video of Zhuo-Yichen and sent it over. The girl was very excited. "Ah, you really sent it to me. Thank you, sister. You're too good. I'll send you a picture later. I'll continue." Okay. Take more pictures of brother. He's super handsome and charming." After SJ Boy finished singing 2 songs and left the stage, the girls behind Chu Xiong immediately asked her excitedly, "How was it? Did you take a picture of him looking at the camera? Did you? Chu Xiong pulled out a few pictures and showed them. "Yes, we'll leave together after the party. I'll send them to you." If it weren't for their banners, Zhuo-Yichen wouldn't have noticed them and subconsciously looked at the camera. She really had to thank them for taking such good pictures. The girls were satisfied. They temporarily put away their banners and happily watched the other performances. At this time, they drank water to moisten their throats. They were still waiting for Zhuo-Yichen to sing alone and scream along. SJ Boy was a group of 4. Each of them came out to sing a song. When they went on stage together, they were dressed in a slightly immature style. They were especially youthful and looked like boys who hadn't grown up yet. When they went on stage to perform alone, they each changed into a handsome or cool outfit. When Zhuo-Yichen went on stage handsomely, the audience suddenly burst into screams and shouted his name in unison. He ran a few steps with a smile and shouted, "Happy Lantern Festival! Are you guys happy tonight?" "Happy," the stars answered in unison. Zhuo-Yichen smiled and said, "Those who can sing, can you sing together?" "Okay." Again they answered in unison. Zhuo-Yichen passionately sang in a very lively atmosphere. Chu Xiong smiled as she took pictures. This was Zhuo-Yichen's normal performance. He liked to toot in the crowd and liked to interact with his fans so that they could sing together. He was so obedient during the Spring Festival Gala. He really restrained himself. The girls behind Chu Xiong raised their banners again and sang along loudly. This time, Zhuo-Yichen didn't keep performing in front. Instead, he skipped around the venue and took pictures of the audience on each side. He ran over to interact with them. The sentence he said the most was, "Let's sing together." Fortunately, there were many stars present. They really gave him a chorus. Otherwise, it would be awkward if no one sang along. Chu Xiong still managed to take a picture of him looking at the camera. Perhaps when he ran over, he remembered that there were fans taking pictures of him, so he deliberately looked over. It was because his posture was very good when he looked over. As expected of someone who liked to act cool. When he looked at the camera, he subconsciously put on a good pose. Chu Xiang took many pictures. Towards the end, she put down her camera, waved her light stick, and sang along with him. She didn't know if it was because the support sticks on her face, ears, and head were too eye-catching. When she got closer, Zhuo Yichen even looked at her and smiled. However, Chu Xiang had already put down her camera and didn't manage to capture this good moment. After Zhuo Yichen finished singing and left the stage, Chu Xiang's photoshoot was also completed. She relaxed and sat down with the girls behind her to exchange WeChat numbers. She had gained a lot this time. She took many pictures and got to know a few cute stars. She was starting to integrate into the group. This kind of live support was quite interesting. It felt as if she and the fans had swapped roles. She felt completely different when she was in a similar situation from a different angle. This novel experience had completely piqued her curiosity. She was ready to be a high-quality fan. Chapter 110. Chu Xiang shared many photos with the girls and even exchanged WeChat numbers with them. The girls immediately added her into a WeChat group and happily introduced her to everyone. The stars in the group knew that she was a new fan and warmly welcomed her. Then they sent her many links and told her about Zhuo Yichen's various wonderful performances since his debut, as well as the cute, stupid, and chunibu comments and videos. Chu Xiang realized that liking an idol was a bit like raising a pet. It was not derogatory but the feeling of liking someone. Even if your pet was stupid, it was still cute. But if it was someone else, it would be annoying. Chu Xiang had never been very patient with people, but after the boy became her fan, she really liked him no matter how she looked at him. He was cute and she wanted to pamper him. The girl who sold the tickets to Chu Xiang previously sent her a message after the gala. "Sister, what's your Weibo? Have you posted photos?" Chu Xiang replied, "Not yet. I'm thinking about editing the photos before posting them. I haven't done the logo for the Zhanzi either." The girl sent a surprised emoticon and a voice message. "Sister, you're the Zhanzi? Aren't you a new fan? What's wrong with being a new fan?" Chu Xiang replied with a voice message. "When I saw my brother's live performance today, I really think he's great. I'm not bragging, so I'm planning to make a Zhanzi and follow his schedule in the future." "Wow, that's amazing. I also want to join my brother's activities, but I'm a student and I don't have time. Sister, do you know how to make a Zhanzi? I recommend a few of my brother's Zhanzi. You can refer to them. They're all great. Also, sister, you'll definitely post photos in a 9-square grid, right? Remember to include my brother's Zhanzi. Everyone definitely wants to see him. Your photos are so good. It's a pity that no one sees them. Alright, I'll follow your Weibo and help you promote it. Sister, send me your Weibo account." The girl sent a bunch of messages. Chu Xiang sent her Weibo account, and she immediately exclaimed, "Sister, did you draw this?" Right. Isn't this drawing too good? You're so cute. I beg you to draw a few more, please." Chu Xiang smiled and said, "I'll draw when I have time. You're too easily excited. Study hard. You can only visit your brother when you earn enough money in the future. Otherwise, how can you face your idol if your grades are not good enough?" "That's for sure. I'm not a die-hard fan who gets carried away in the heat of the moment. I spent all my money to buy the tickets this year. When I get into a good university next year, I'll definitely show my results to my brother." "Followed you. Sister, quickly send me a photo. I've been waiting anxiously." Chu Xiang saw that the Weibo account had a neighboring fan named Zhuo Yichen's Fangirl 717. 80% of the posts on Weibo were related to Zhuo Yichen, such as ranking on the leaderboard, anti-haters, and seeking points. The remaining 20% were about her daily life. She was quite careful and did not expose her identity. Chu Xiang replied to her. After all, she was the first person she met, and it was the first time she received a live concert ticket. It was quite fate. Chu Xiang turned on her computer and quickly came up with a logo. She added the 3 capital letters ZYC in front of her signature. Then she changed the lines of the words from black to stars. It looked especially good on the photo. The photos taken by her camera did not need much editing. Because it was close, they were all high-definition photos. Chu Xiang cut the size and added the logo before posting the first 9-grid photo. These 9 photos were taken when the group was singing together. However, she was a fan, so of course she only cut out photos of Zhuo Yichen alone. The middle photo of Zhuo Yichen smiling at the camera was especially beautiful. The left and right photos were taken when Zhuo Yichen subconsciously glanced over. Although it was not a front view, it was still very touching. The remaining 6 photos were photos of Zhuo Yichen singing or dancing to his heart's content. This time she remembered to include a Weibo post. Once she posted it, the number of views immediately exceeded 100. Zhuo Yichen's fangirl 717 reposted her Weibo immediately and tagged many stars she knew. Chu Xiang's Weibo account immediately popped up with comments praising the photo. Chu Xiang then filtered out 9 photos of Zhuo Yichen changing his clothes and singing alone. The middle photo was still of Zhuo Yichen smiling at the camera. This time his posture was especially handsome. It was as if the two of them had been specially taken together. The other 8 photos were of Zhuo Yichen smiling and full of vitality. He was youthful and handsome. This time the comments came in even faster. More and more fans saw the post on the Weibo post. Many stars thought that the photo was good and reposted it, allowing more stars to see the photo. Ah, Yichen is so handsome. How did you take this photo? Yichen is looking at the camera. They looked at each other face to face twice. Blogger, are you quick? Did you look at him in the eye? Did he make you feel better? Lemons, 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 lemons. You and I are under the lemon tree. I'm so envious that you can look at Brother Yichen in the eye. Brother Yichen really dotes on fans. He even gave you the benefit of the camera. Blogger, how many more photos do you have? Please post them. Didn't anyone notice that this is a new account? There are 4 posts in total. The first one is a New Year's greeting. The second one is a photo of Yichen. So cool and beautiful. The last 2 are taken by gods. They even looked at each other. Blogger, did you change your account and start a new one? Kill me with the photo. Heart to heart. Chu Xiang realized that there was a very thick wall between those who did not chase stars and those who did. It was easy to find joy in chasing stars. The corners of one's mouth would unconsciously curl up. This was probably a very strange thing in the eyes of those who did not chase stars. It was like how people who liked pets would find them super cute, but people who did not like pets would find them troublesome. Chu Xiang seemed to have found a very fun and cute pet. She liked it no matter how she looked at it. She changed her Weibo name to Xiang. Coincidentally, Zhuo Yichen posted on Weibo, so she reposted it. Xiang. New fan, thank you to Zhuo Yichen's fangirl 717 for giving me the ticket. Also, the Star Sisters worked hard to support me. It allowed me to take a photo of the cute little brother Chen in the second row. In the future, I will also share some beautiful photos of little brother Chen, cartoon portraits and video clips. Thank you for liking it. Happy Lantern Festival. Also, Jiboy Zhuo Yichen, your glutinous rice balls will be cold if you keep looking at them. Hurry up and eat them, // boy, Zhuo Yichen V. Did everyone eat glutinous rice balls today? Did you have a reunion with your family? What do you think of my bowl of glutinous rice balls? Photo. This was her Weibo to introduce herself. The stars who came to look at the photo understood that she was a new fan. Then they were all amused by her. Ha ha ha, what do you mean by your glutinous rice balls will be cold if you keep looking at them? Haha, even Big Brother Chen can be criticized by fans. Who asked you to criticize us for no reason? Hurry up and eat your glutinous rice balls. Is Chen dumbfounded? Then he started eating the glutinous rice balls in front of him. Blogger, be careful that Big Brother Chen blacklists you. He won't look at your camera in the future. The stars left happy comments after a while. After all, Chu Xiang was just a new fan. She had only posted 5 Weibo posts and did not interact with them. Therefore there was nothing much to talk about. However, more than 100 people followed her. They probably saw that she had a telephoto lens and could spend money to sit in the front row. They hoped that they could see Zhuo Yichen's front face again in the future. The few girls at the scene also followed her. However, they did not post the photos they got from her. They kept them for themselves and did not infringe on her rights. Chu Xiang observed in the WeChat group for a while. When she saw that they were discussing the second flight, she silently noted down Zhuo Yichen's flight time. Then she tidied up and went to bed. In a hotel not far away, 4 17-year-old teenagers gathered in Zhuo Yichen's room to eat glutinous rice balls. Xia Zhou suddenly showed Zhuo Yichen his phone and joked, "Your fan wants you to eat quickly. It'll get cold if you don't eat." Zhuo Yichen looked sideways. When he saw Chu Xiang's Weibo post, he was surprised and said, "Isn't this the sister I saw today? She's the one I saw when I got off the stage. She's right in front of the stage. It's so eye-catching." Geng Xian leaned back in his chair and rolled his eyes. "We saw it too, okay? Such a big banner right in front of us. Yao, your fans are really good. They know how to fight for space. You're the Yao. Eat your glutinous rice balls. It'll get cold if you don't eat it." Zhuo Yichen grabbed the paper on the table and threw it at him. He took out his phone and looked at the photos Chu Xiang took. Geng Xian caught the paper and curled his lips. He looked at the glutinous rice balls with disdain. "I don't want to eat it. So sweet. You're the only one who likes to eat this kind of sweet stuff. You can eat it yourself. Zhou, why are you looking at Yichen's fans? She won't take photos of you. Even if she did, she won't post them. Do you think everyone thinks you're handsome?" Xia Zhou took out a mirror from his pocket and tidied his hair. "I'm very handsome. She doesn't get it. I saw it in our group's Weibo." Yichen even looked at her. She gained a lot of fans all of a sudden. "No, it's not bad. It's better than mine. It's pretty good." Zhuo Yichen saved the 2 good-looking photos of him looking at the camera. He also saved the cartoon portrait on his phone. He said proudly, "She drew me a cartoon portrait of the Spring Festival Gala. Super good. What do you think? Are you jealous?" Geng Xian patted Xiao Ran, who was lying on the sofa. "Give him a blow." Xiao Ran muttered, "I'm too lazy. Don't cue him. He's so lazy that he wants to turn into a stone statue." Zhuo Yichen quickly finished the glutinous rice balls in his bowl. He took Geng Xian's bowl and continued eating. After eating a few, he restrained himself and put down the spoon. He rubbed his stomach and said regretfully, "It's too late. I can't eat anymore. It's not digesting." He knocked on the table and said, "When I was reviewing the performance just now, I realized that Xia Zhou didn't sing well. Xiao Ran didn't keep up with the rhythm in 2 parts of her dance. Geng Xian made a mistake in his positioning. I was a little breathless. Although the mistakes weren't obvious and the audience might not be able to see them, we have to practice more when we go back and continue to strengthen our weaknesses. There are 3 popular youth groups in China right now, and we're just one of them. The 4 of us will be taking the college entrance examination for the next 2 years, so we'll be under a lot of pressure. Everyone work hard. Don't lose to others." When it came to business, the 3 of them became serious and nodded one after another. Although Zhuo Yichen's birthday was the youngest among the 4 of them, they were all the same age and were only a few months apart. Zhuo Yichen debuted a year earlier than them. He was also more mature, attentive, and responsible than them. Zhuo Yichen had always been in charge of their group's affairs. After Zhuo Yichen finished, they asked their assistants to clear the dishes and returned to their rooms to rest. Zhuo Yichen lay on his bed and swiped his phone. As expected, the 4 of them were on the hot search list. In the past there were more fans, but in the past 6 months, there were more exclusive fans. There were also more discordant voices. "Xia Zhou is the most beautiful man, okay? He's practically out of a manga. Xiao Ran is so ugly, but she still wears the same clothes as Xia Zhou. She's asking for humiliation. Zhou Zhou's the best dancer." Geng Xian bumped into Zhou Zhou when the performance was about to end. Was that intentional? Geng Xian's rap is super cool. He won't compete with second sister. Second sister Xia, please be beautiful alone. Boss Xiao is the good-looking type. Does that make Xia Zhou a woman just because he has long hair? How is he good-looking when he's so feminine? Boss Xiao sings the best and doesn't accept rebuttals. If it weren't for Boss Xiao, would the best Zhuo Yichen be the team leader? Boss is the team leader, okay? Team leader is based on ability. Does it have anything to do with age or birthday? Did you not graduate from kindergarten? Chen is the best. Can you change to another teammate? Can you guys get lost, Dewey? The 4 seasons will always be together. You don't know how good brothers are. You guys are so dramatic. Let's go together. New Year pictures will always support you guys. Zhuo Yichen felt a little sad when he saw the comments from the 4 of them. They had only debuted for 2 years, but there were already signs of division among their fans. The 4 of them were like brothers, but all of them were attacked by these fans. Sometimes they only felt better when they saw the group of fans. New Year pictures. The 4 seasons together were the New Year. The group of fans named it a festive New Year picture. They hoped that they could spend the future years with them and draw a New Year picture every year. He had experienced a period when he was not very popular, so he cherished this group of 4 even more. This was achieved by the 4 of them. If any one of them was missing, they would not have achieved this. He really hoped that their group could be so good forever. They could also be as close as brothers and explore the entertainment industry together. The 17-year-old boy already had a lot of things to worry about. He was very tired, but he still could not sleep. He thought about a lot of things. The next morning, he woke up with dark circles under his eyes. They were packing up and heading to the airport. On the other side, Chu Xiang was also packing her luggage and heading to the airport. Of course, she kept the support items, but she was still wearing the thin red down jacket from the night before. No matter how much time had passed, her favorite color was still red. Even the camera string hanging around her neck had exquisite red patterns. This time, she tied her long black hair into a high ponytail. She looked much more neat. She carried a backpack with her simple luggage inside. The long lens of the camera was in the bag. The airport was not so far away. She changed to a palm-length lens. The camera was much lighter when hanging on her body. This time, celebrities were attending the Lantern Festival. Some left the night before, and some stayed the night before leaving. Many of the celebrities' fans came to send them off. They gathered in groups. Chu Xiang saw more than 20 girls holding cameras like her waiting in the airport. She did not talk to them and quietly found a place to sit. When S.J. Boy appeared, there was a commotion. 4 fans of Rao and Tuan all gathered over. The 4 of them were so crowded that they could not walk properly. Chu Xiang thought for a moment. She looked at the flight schedule. It was time for her to check in. She quickly walked a few steps to get off the plane before S.J. Boy. Then, she stood at the entrance where she did not block the way and turned around to take photos. The 4 youths finally walked over. Geng Xian looked up and saw Chu Xiang. He immediately nudged Zhuo Yichen. Zhuo Yichen looked at Chu Xiang. Chu Xiang kept pressing the shutter. At the same time, she moved to the side, indicating that she would not block them and the passers-by. The 4 of them quickly passed through the security check. Then they turned around and waved goodbye to their fans, reminding them to go home as soon as possible. Chu Xiang found a direction where she could take a picture of their faces and took a few photos. 5 of the other station sisters had followed her and were also taking photos at a distance. They had a tacit understanding not to get too close to their idols and cause them trouble. If their staff stopped them, they would stop taking photos. Chu Xiang did not pay attention to this when she was a celebrity. She was a little too workaholic and left everything around her to her manager and assistant. They took care of everything very well. She remembered that there were many cameras taking photos of her wherever she went. She thought that they were all reporters, but it turned out that they were her fans. Now that she thought about it, she was not warm enough. She did not even give the fans the benefit of the camera. Fortunately, she did not quit the entertainment industry in her previous life. She never let her fans down. It was a perfect ending. When she boarded the plane, Chu Xiong was surprised to find that she was on the same flight as the four youths. Moreover, they were all in first class. Among the flight attendants, she was the only one who went to first class with them. Their assistants were also in economy class. There were not many people in first class. After all, the four youths were still young and had only debuted for 2 years. They had been protected by the company and had retained their youthful nature. After sitting down for a while, they could not help but look at her awkwardly. Chu Xiong saw them and smiled at them. What a coincidence. I didn't know that you were on the same flight. I live in the capital and I'm going back today. The cameras have been put away. They won't take any photos. Don't worry. When she mentioned that she did not know how to take photos, Zhuari Chen was a little embarrassed. He smiled and said, "Actually, it's okay to take some photos, but don't take photos of my teammates. Then can you sit here for a while?" Chu Xiong stood up and let Zhuari Chen sit in her seat. There was no one there, so she quickly took a few photos before the plane took off. Zhuari Chen naturally posed handsomely in front of the camera. She took out the camera and showed it to Zhuari Chen. "I won't post these photos. If your staff were here just now, they would definitely ask you not to take any photos. Don't be so soft-hearted in the future. It's okay to reject them. A fan who gets angry over something like this is not a good fan." "Oh, okay." Zhuai Chen rubbed his nose awkwardly in front of this big sister's new fan. He planned to go back to his seat. His seat was in front. As soon as he stood up, Geng Xian, who was only an aisle away from Chu Xiong, said, "Yichen, sit here. You can talk to this big sister." Geng Xian smiled at Chu Xiong and said, "Big sister, you draw very well." "Really? Then I'll draw one for you guys when I have time." Chu Xiong was not Du Wei, so she had a good impression of them. She smiled and agreed. Zhuari Chen and Geng Xian switched seats and were very close to Chu Xiong. After the plane took off and the stewardess came over to deliver drinks, he felt a little awkward for a while. He felt that there was only one fan present and it was not good to leave it hanging. He cleared his throat and asked, "Big sister, are you studying art?" Chu Xiong held the warm coffee cup and replied, "I used to. I'm now a student at the Film and Television Academy. I'm studying editing in the directing department. I'm in my 2nd year this year. When you go to university, I'll be in my 3rd year. Have you thought about which school you want to go to? What do you want to study?" Zhuai Chen said in surprise, "I also want to study at the Film and Television Academy. I really want to be able to direct my own movie in the future." Before he finished, Chu Xiong couldn't help but laugh. Zhuai Chen touched his face, thinking that there was something dirty on it. "What's wrong?" Chu Xiong waved her hand. "Nothing. I just feel that you're so naive. Why do you ask me anything? Aren't you afraid that I'm a marketing account and will run out to expose you?" Zhuari Chen was confused by her brain circuit. He posted on Weibo and asked how his glutinous rice balls looked. Other fans said, "Ah, they look delicious, and I really want to be the glutinous rice balls in your bowl." This big sister said, "It's going to get cold if you keep looking. Hurry up and eat." He allowed her to take photos. If it were other fans, they would definitely say, "Ah, you're so handsome." This big sister said, "Don't be so soft-hearted in the future." He confessed his future plans. If it were other fans, they would definitely say, "It's great." This big sister said that he was too naive. Did he have some misunderstanding about fans? Was this not how he pampered his fans? Chu Xiong was charmed by his confused look. She felt that he was like a furry dog. She couldn't help but reach out and ruffle his hair. "What if you're so silly and get cheated by others? You don't know my name yet. This is the 2nd time we meet, so you have to be wary of strangers. Don't think that just because I'm your fan, I'm one of your people." 2 months ago, didn't a female celebrity's fans leave her and come back to criticize her? You have to be a good idol and treat your fans well. It's okay to give out benefits publicly, but you have to protect yourself in private. The three teenagers in front of him laughed at the same time. Zhuorichen's face turned red. He was a captain at 17 years old and always thought of himself as an adult. In the end, he was treated like a child by his big sister who was not much older than him. Xiaozhou turned around and smiled. Big sister, we feel that we hit it off very well. We actually met 3 times in 2 days. We even saw your Weibo last night. You look very familiar. Gengxian nodded. Big sister, you look like the kind of person with a good personality. Chu Xiang laughed and said, you won't think that way in 2 years. What can you tell? But I do have a good personality. You didn't misjudge me this time. Zhuoyichen took the opportunity to ask, Big sister, what's your name? I saw that you are a new fan on Weibo. Why are you a fan of mine? My name is Chu Xiang. Chu Xiang showed him her phone screensaver. I thought your performance on the Spring Festival Gala was very good. Then I found your previous stage videos and saw that you improved a lot every time. I like people who are talented and improve seriously. Plus you're so cute. Xiao Ran half reclined in her seat and looked back at them. She keenly said, Big sister, why do I feel like you're raising a cat on the cloud? It's like you've seen your favorite animal. Chu Xiang raised her eyebrows. Pretty much. Doesn't raising a cat on the cloud mean that you like the cat on the screen? Then I'm raising an idol on the cloud. Zhuorichen tidied up his hair and clothes and said unhappily, I'm not cute anymore, okay? I was cute when I was young, but now I'm very handsome. I don't look like a cat at all. Also, I'm the captain. Big sister, do you know how I became the captain? I have to take care of the 3 of them every day and worry so much. How is that cute? Chu Xiang held back her laughter. You're quite cute now. If you don't believe me, you can look back on your current appearance in 2 years and you'll know that I'm telling the truth. You must be a fake fan. Zhuoyichen pretended to get up and said jokingly, Change seats, change seats. Gengxian immediately said, Okay, change seats. Zhuorichen sat back down and said with a smile, Even if you're a fake fan, you're still my fan. Turn around. The few of them joked around and broke the initial awkwardness and unfamiliarity. The most important thing was that they felt comfortable, reliable, and relaxed when interacting with Chu Xiang. Therefore, even if Chu Xiang mentioned it, they didn't raise their guard against her. Instead, because of her concern, they became closer to her and treated her as an interesting older sister. The flight was very short, and they arrived at their destination in a short time. The 4 of them were about to meet up with their assistants when Chu Xiang picked up her bag and waved at them. I'm leaving now. Right. The 4 of them saw that the hostesses in economy class were still waiting to take pictures of them, but Chu Xiang walked away without looking back. She really did look like a fake fan. Moreover, the hostesses would always post pictures of them on Weibo immediately when they saw them off, picked them up, or at events so that everyone would know what they had taken. During the gala, Chu Xiang only posted pictures long after the gala ended. This time she clearly took pictures, but she didn't post a single one. She still looked like a fake hostess. The 4 of them left together in the nanny van. The 4 of them were all from the capital and had a few days off this time around. The staff had to send them home one by one to let them reunite with their families. The 4 of them sat in the car. Chu Xiang didn't think that she would be a fan of Zhuoyichen for a long time because he was really different from other fans. He was more like a fair-skinned, rich, and beautiful girl who liked him on a whim. Zhuoyichen felt a little disappointed because he felt that this older sister was quite nice. Perhaps they wouldn't see each other again in the future and would go their separate ways. Chu Xiang didn't realize that she had been called a fake fan. However, she wasn't an ordinary girl to begin with. Of course, the mentality of a fan of an idol was a little different. She took the subway home and took a comfortable bath. Then, she imported all the pictures from her camera into her computer. Other hostesses had already posted pictures of Zhuoyichen at the airport. There were quite a lot of people and he was squeezed together with the other members of the group. Actually, the overall picture wasn't very beautiful, but the fans were satisfied to see their idol's movements. Another hostess posted a picture of Zhuo Yichen waiting to board the plane. There was a teammate next to him, but the hostess photoshopped it out. This kind of solo photo was not bad and many fans shared it. Chu Xiang didn't post these. She found 4 pictures of Zhuo Yichen and posted them. One was of him smiling happily. One was of him talking to his teammate with a black face full of question marks. One was of him staring blankly ahead. And the last one was of him being shocked and staring with his eyes wide open. These 4 expressions were very vivid. Chu Xiang didn't post them directly. Instead, she drew 4 scenes and bodies in a 4-panel comic. They were all cartoon figures. Then she dug out the heads of the 4 pictures of Zhuo Yichen and attached them to the cartoon bodies. The 4-panel comic suddenly became very interesting. Coupled with the dialogue box and text, it immediately became an interesting story. Chu Xiang posted the 4-panel comic with a caption. The cutest younger brother is probably the one who grew up eating cuteness. Zhuo Yichen had just followed Chu Xiang. When he saw the comic that looked like an emoji pack, he collapsed weakly on the back seat. Why am I the cutest one? I'm not cute at all. What? Geng Xian stretched his head to look at his phone and burst out laughing. My sister is so good. You'll be a cute boy living in a comic from now on, haha. Let me see. Xia Zhou grabbed the phone and leaned on Xiao Ran to look at it with him. He laughed and said, Your fan is amazing. We're still stuck in a traffic jam and she's already drawn a masterpiece. Chen, how does it feel to be lacking a boy? What do you mean by being a boy? I'm a man. Zhuo Yichen got up and grabbed the phone back. He smiled and gave Chu Xiang a like and replied, The comic is cute, but Yichen isn't cute, he's going to be an adult soon. After replying, he muttered, She must be a fake fan. Geng Xian couldn't stop laughing. Stop pretending. Look at how you're laughing. You can't even suppress the corners of your mouth. Go away. Zhuo Yichen pushed him away with a smile and saved the 4-panel comic on his phone. He had a lot of fans. In the beginning, when he didn't have many fans, he was familiar with the fans who often wrote him letters and picked him up at the airport. Every time he saw them, he would smile and greet them. He would also post the gifts they sent him on Weibo. Later, when he had too many fans, he would follow the staff and not respond to them in order to avoid unnecessary trouble. In fact, he was familiar with the fans who often appeared in his comment section and his various Weibo accounts. When he saw good photos and edited videos of himself, he would save them. His Weibo account would also pay attention to some fans that he felt were more important to him. He wanted to see what they thought of his activities, whether they were disappointed in him, and whether they were particularly concerned about something and stopped being his fan. Now, Chu Xiang had also become a fan that he felt was a little special. Chu Xiang became his fan because he performed well and was willing to work hard to improve himself. If Chu Xiang stopped being his fan one day, he would like to know the reason. Chu Xiang didn't notice the comments on Zhuo Yichen's account. The 4-panel comic she posted was so funny that it was reposted many times by Xingchen. The number of comments soon exceeded 1,000. Previously, there were people who questioned whether she was a fan of Weibo and why she didn't post a picture of an airport. They saw that the 4-panel comic was funnier and asked her to post more of such comics. When Chu Xiang saw that everyone liked it so much, she took a good look at the 4-panel comic she made on a whim. Suddenly, she found the shortcomings of her serialized comic. It would be better if she changed her style to this kind of comic. It was like breaking through a bottleneck. Previously, she only treated the serialized comic as a hobby. Now, she immediately had the inspiration to start a new comic. She quickly wrote an outline of the overall story structure and the distribution of the funny points. Then, she started to draw the new comic. It didn't take long for her to draw several drafts. She directly uploaded the new one and refunded the old one. She found joy in drawing. Remembering that she had promised Geng Xian to draw for them on the plane, she drew a cartoon picture of the 4 of them hugging each other. In the picture, the 4 of them were laughing very happily. The background picture was drawn with light colors and a blending gradient technique, with the 4 seasons of spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Then, under their feet, the word forever was written in beautiful flowery font. She didn't sign her name. After she finished drawing, she directly sent a private message to Zhuai-chen and asked him to share it with the other members. She didn't care whether Zhuai-chen would see the private message or not. Anyway, she was happy with the drawing and sent it out. Zhuai-chen was on vacation. Chu Xiang didn't have much to do to chase after celebrities. Every time she hit the charts, she would do some statistics. Then, she would study books on editing. She also started to take on some private editing jobs. At first, she took on some simple promotional videos, which didn't make much money. However, she was good at editing. Gradually, more difficult jobs came to her, and the price also increased. In addition, her new comic was very popular. She was stable in making money. When editing for others, the other party would always have a lot of requirements. An outsider would guide an expert. They would always have their own ideas. It was very difficult to serve them. However, this was also part of the job. Even if she edited a movie in the future, the director would have a lot of ideas. She would treat it as practice in advance. She could always find a balance between the two sides. Just like in business negotiations, she had never lost in this aspect. After Chu Xiang got used to the part-time job, she used her silver tongue to convince the client again and again. She made the results of the labor go according to her wishes to the greatest extent. Sure enough, it was much more comfortable. After working for half a month, SJ Boys started to film a variety show. This type of group independent variety show was introduced from overseas. It seems to be to solidify the group's fans and also to highlight the group's soul and each member's strengths to attract new fans. The first episode of the variety show was filmed outdoors. It was winter break, and they were going to Ice City in the north to ski and watch the ice lanterns. The 4 of them had never been to Ice City before. When they were filming the trailer, they were very excited and looking forward to it. This type of public itinerary was something that could be filmed by Zhang Jie. Chu Xiang had not started school yet, and when she saw the news, she immediately booked a flight to Ice City. She had never played in the snow castle before. She felt that after becoming a fan of a young idol, she had also become more playful. She went to the snow castle alone and played for 3 days. She toured the entire snow castle. When the 4 of them alighted from the plane and left the airport, Zhuai-chen glanced at them and saw Zhang Jie wearing a red woolen coat. Her camera was red in color, and he looked at her for a while. Chu Xiang quickly pressed the shutter a few times and captured the moment when their eyes met. She then put down the camera and smiled at him. Zhuai-chen was surprised and smiled. Chu Xiang immediately took a picture of him smiling. After that, Zhuai-chen was escorted out of the airport by the staff. Chu Xiang also went out to hail a taxi. Xiaozhou saw Zhuai-chen looking out of the car window and said, "There's nothing to see here. When we reach the place, it will be filled with ice. It's a big ice castle. I am not looking at the scenery." "Then what are you looking at? Do you all still remember the fan who took the same flight with us? I saw her just now. She is here to pick us up. Isn't her house in Beijing? She must have come to Ice City to pick us up." Zhuai-chen looked out of the car window again. He only stopped when the car had left. Geng Xian joked, "She is here to pick you up, not us. She had promised to draw for us the last time, but she only drew you, and it was a 4-panel comic. I wonder what kind of comic she will draw this time. I am jealous." Zhuai-chen laughed and said, "You're depressed. Of course, my fans will only draw pictures for me." Chapter 111. The 4 boys had never been to Bing City before, and they were attracted by the snowy scenery on the streets. There were no leaves on the trees by the roadside, unlike in Beijing, where the trees were green all year round. But the snow on the trees was a different kind of beauty compared to the green leaves. It was especially beautiful. Zhuai-chen's sharp eyes caught sight of a bicycle's spokes covered in snow. He immediately shouted excitedly, "Look at that! That bicycle, wow, it's so beautiful!" Where? Where? Geng Xian immediately leaned on his shoulder and looked out of the window. He said in surprise, "It looks like a work of art. Wow, I never knew bicycle wheels could be so beautiful. Look at the eaves over there, there are ice skates but they are not as long as the pictures online." Xia Zhou complained, "This is the main street, and there must be many people cleaning it. Those who can see these must have picked up some leftovers. When we get to the snow castle we will see everything." Even the laziest Xiao Ran sat up. Although she was too lazy to talk, her eyes were staring out the window. Zhuoichen drew the letters Zoici on the window with his finger and smiled. "I like winter. This time I can finally experience the snow. I will take a picture and post it on Weibo tonight. The ice lanterns are so beautiful. Help me take a good picture. I want to share it with my fans." Xia Zhou turned his head and saw the letters he wrote on the window. He joked, "You added Xiang to the letter, and she is your fake fan sister. Don't worry, there will be a show tonight. Fake fan sister will definitely go to the front line to take pictures of you. She will definitely look good in the pictures. You can ask her for pictures." What fake fan sister? Aren't you the one who thinks she is a fake fan? You can do it but you can't. Can't you see that she is my true fan? When I get into university, she will be my senior. We might even collaborate on research projects in the future. Zhuoichen hugged the seat in front of him and rested his chin on it. He opened Weibo on his phone and said, "Let's see if she has posted any pictures." Xiao Ran put on the hood of her down jacket and leaned against the seat. She closed her eyes and muttered, "Maybe she will have stopped being a fan by then." Zhuoichen snorted, "That's impossible. I'm improving every day, okay? I won't give her a chance to stop being a fan." He opened Chu Xiang's Weibo with his account and saw that Chu Xiang had already posted 9 squares. The staff beside him were slightly blurred out. Only his hair could be seen clearly in high definition. However, the dark circles under his eyes were gone. Chu Xiang had seriously fixed them. All 9 pictures were of him smiling, and the one in the middle was still of him looking at the camera. He remembered that he had smiled at her at that time, but Chu Xiang had sent him a picture that looked like he had inadvertently looked up at her. He was puzzled for a moment. Suddenly he had an epiphany. Based on the way this sister's brain worked, she must have carefully selected the pictures. The reason why he had a smile on every picture was because there was once a fan who posted a picture of him with a cooler expression. There were haters who criticized him for throwing a tantrum at his fans and saying that the fans who came to pick him up were annoying. These pictures were all of him smiling. Other than the staff, he could also see that there was a group of fans. Naturally, he was smiling at the fans. It was very likable. As for the picture of him looking at the camera, she did not send it with a smile. She only sent it as if she had inadvertently looked up at it. She was probably afraid that the other fans would feel uncomfortable or that the fans would speculate. After all, he had just seen her in the picture at the Lantern Festival. This way, the haters would not fabricate rumors about him flirting with her fans. After Zhuoichen thought about it, he felt that Chu Xiang must have meant this. He silently liked the picture and smiled. He admitted that she was not a fake fan. She was a fan who cared about him and wanted to protect him. When he participated in the singing competition at the age of 14, he met mostly heartwarming fans. However, now that he was 17, he met mostly fans who praised him and had a lot of bad intentions. When he thought about Chu Xiang's advice to him to protect himself, he actually felt very warm. He was already looking forward to the show's filming at night. Knowing that there would be fans who liked him watching, he instinctively wanted to perform better. Chu Xiang indeed planned to go to the show's filming location at night. She had already been here for 3 years and was very experienced. When she went, she packed a bunch of heat pads in her bag and even got a plush heat pad that could be charged with a power bank. The camera was afraid of the cold, so she also got a red furry coat for the camera. When not in use, she could cover the lens. The anti-freezing effect was very good and matched her coat very well. This variety show was SJ's own variety show. The main purpose was to let them show off their strengths in eating, drinking, and having fun. Therefore, they started filming while they were still in the car. The four of them looked through the car window and saw the ice lanterns coming closer and closer. Everyone had a shocked expression on their faces. We're looking at ice lanterns here. This is a manor, right? This is a city. Look at those towers. They're really towers. They're made of ice. Wow, it's so spectacular. Are we there yet? Stop the car, stop the car. Let's get out quickly. Zhui Chen grabbed his hat and was the first to jump out of the car. He exclaimed, "Wow, it's so cold." He hurriedly put on his hat and turned around to remind them, "Wear your hats properly and buckle your collars before getting out. Super cold. Let's go, let's run." He ran excitedly towards the towering ice gate and shouted, "Ice Lantern Show, we're here." His teammates followed closely behind him with smiles on their faces. "Wait for us." Chu Xiang and the 6 station girls stood at a distance on both sides of the gate so that it wouldn't affect the filming. There were also some fans and onlookers nearby. When she saw Zhui Chen's appearance, she laughed and picked up her camera to take many photos of him. How could he call himself an adult when he was clearly still a child? The four of them ran to the gate and had to look up to see the roof of the gate. There were lights of various colors shining on the ice and it looked especially beautiful. The four of them stood at the gate and talked about their understanding of the ice lanterns. They had only heard about them or seen pictures on the internet. None of them had seen it before. Just the huge block of ice at the gate was enough to shock them. The four of them couldn't help but peek inside as they talked. Then they looked at each other and laughed at the same time. Zhui Chen clapped his hands and said, "Good. Everyone doesn't want to talk here anymore. We can't wait to see the ice city inside. Then let's go in now. We'll walk clockwise and don't miss a single spot, okay? Okay, let's go and see what's so fun." The four of them shouted and 3 of them rushed out like cannonballs. Xiao Ran walked slowly behind them and said to the camera, "I used up all my energy running just now. Plan to walk slowly. There's no rush. They have to wait for me anyway." After running for a while, Zhui Chen turned back and saw that Xiao Ran wasn't following. He immediately stopped and shouted, "Xiao Ran, come quickly. There's a big slide here. It's all made of ice. Let's go up." Xiao Ran shivered when he saw it and shook his head. "No, whoever likes it can go up. No, the SJ boys must be together." Zhui Chen laughed and joked. He patted the other 2 and pointed at Xiao Ran. The 3 of them immediately rushed back and lifted Xiao Ran up. "Haha, let's go." The tacit understanding between them didn't even need to be spoken. With a look and a movement, the 3 of them carried Xiao Ran and rushed towards the slide. The staff all ran after them and even the aerial camera chased after them. Chu Xiang had a telephoto lens. No matter how far away she was, she could still take a clear shot. Even if she took a photo of a sesame-sized person in the scenery, she could still cut out the high-definition photo as if it was taken at close range. Therefore, she didn't need to run. She walked slowly and found a good angle to take a few photos from time to time. There was a woman who was closer to her and asked, "Which family are you from?" "Zhui Chen," Chu Xiang replied briefly. "I'm from Xiao Ran's family. Zhui Chen is a great captain. I was really afraid that Xiao Ran would be strolling around leisurely. If that happened, I would only be able to take a bunch of similar photos. Luckily, Zhui Chen brought him over. The captain can always take photos of Mushroom and the other 2. The women were very rational fans. Because they were the closest fans to their idols, they knew what their idols were like and how close the 4 teenagers were to each other. Therefore, they never criticized the others. The women in the SJ boy group were very friendly with each other. Chu Xiang smiled and said, "They have a good relationship and love to play. I'm sure we'll be able to take a lot of photos tonight. I didn't know I liked taking photos so much." "Hey, how is this liking taking photos?" "This is liking them. I didn't do these things in the past. 'Cause I like Xiao Ran, I learned how to take photos, Photoshop and edit videos. It's all because of love. The woman burst into laughter. Isn't it mushy? But in the past, I really didn't take photos of beautiful scenery. I didn't even like to take selfies. My friends were all amazed at how idolizing a celebrity can change a person. It's true. Chu Xiong nodded in agreement. Seeing the teenagers roll and crawl to the end of the slide, she called the woman. Let's go over there. It's easy to lose them if it's too far. These 4 kids are too good at running. You're not old either. How can you treat them like kids? Don't tell me you're her fan. I'm a big sister fan. Seeing them so lively makes me feel like I'm a few years older. Chu Xiong smiled and quickened her pace to keep up with the 4 teenagers. She couldn't be a mommy fan. She had no feelings for children in the previous generation. Even these cute little brothers were cuter in this life. It was as if she was looking at her little brothers happily playing around. The 4 teenagers went to climb the ice tower. The 4 of them squeezed together and poked their heads out of the tower's window. Their faces were brimming with excitement. They waved vigorously at the camera below as if they were greeting the audience, celebrating their success in climbing the tower. Zhuoyichen looked around and said in amazement, "It's so beautiful here. It's stunning. You can't get this feeling anywhere else. Can you believe it's all made of ice? 9 zigzag bridges, pavilions, 9-story towers, churches, castles. Wow, there are several carriages made of ice over there, and the 12 zodiac signs." They pointed out anything that looked good to their teammates and then took out their phones. Zhuoyichen said, "Help me take photos of this side. We have to take photos of all these scenes. That side is beautiful. Look at those ice slides. There are so many of them, so long and so beautiful. They're like a frozen waterfall. Then let's take a few photos of each side." Zhuoyichen stuffed the phone into Xiaozhou's hand. "Come, let the most narcissistic selfie take a few photos for me. Make sure they look good." Xiaozhou leaned against the window and looked down. He looked around and saw Chu Xiong and laughed. Considering that the microphone was on him, he smiled vaguely. "Don't worry about your photos. Any one of them is a masterpiece." When Zhuoyichen heard the word masterpiece, he thought of Chu Xiong. He turned his back to the camera and gave Xiaozhou a look, telling him not to mention it. Then he leaned against the side and posed. "I'm born handsome. Can't help it. Take a good photo. I want to send it to my Xingchen." Xiaozhou helped him take a few photos. Then they changed to take photos of each other. This was probably the first time they took so many photos spontaneously. Ice City was so beautiful that they all wanted to keep their photos as a memento. After that they went skating. The 4 of them had never skated before on a very large ice rink. They wore their own shoes and skated casually. As soon as they got on the ice, they all fell together. Then they got up and continued to skate. Then you pushed me, I pushed you, pulling at each other, slipping forward unsteadily, and in a little while fell together again. Xiao Ran pushed them until they were stacked together in a human pyramid. Then he laid on top and said, "Revenge. Let's lift me up." Zhuoyichen was at the bottom. He pushed them and laughed. "Get up quickly. You're like dead pigs. The 3 of you are not allowed to eat supper in the future." Geng Xian pulled his hat and covered his face. He rubbed his face and said, "You're the one who eats the most. You don't want to let us eat because you want to monopolize it, right? I think you'll become a big fatty sooner or later." Zhuoyichen suddenly threw himself out and rolled out with brute force. He got up and ran to the skateboard shouting, "Are you stupid? Are you lying there waiting to catch a cold? I'm going to play. I don't care about you guys anymore." Xiaozhou and Geng Xian got up at the same time and pulled Xiao Ran. Then they ran to grab the skateboard together. The 4 of them played together again. They even used a rope to drag a big tire. One pulled the other forward. When they reached the snow, they even had a snowball fight. Their laughter never stopped. Chu Xiong used her telephoto lens to take photos of Zhuoyichen from afar. She could see him very clearly. She saw that the button on Zhuo Yichen's collar was accidentally torn off by Geng Xian. His collar was slightly open and could not be closed. He did not notice it. During the snowball fight, a lot of snow fell into his collar. He only shivered twice to get the snow out. After a while he went crazy. He did not even care that his hat had fallen off. He ran over to grab Xiaozhou. The temperature in Bingqing was already low. The temperature in the world of ice and snow was even lower. It was super cold. Within a few minutes, Zhuo Yichen's ears and face were red from the cold. Chu Xiang frowned slightly. A 17-year-old boy had a strong body and did not care much about the cold. They were filming variety shows, so their pants were not thick. They would sweat easily when they ran. They would catch a cold if they changed between the cold and the hot in this place. It was fine if they covered themselves tightly. If Zhuo Yichen was like this, he would probably feel uncomfortable when he returned home. She saw that the staff were busy filming and laughing with the boys. They probably had not come here to play so crazily before and did not have much experience. She quickly walked over to Zhuo Yichen's assistant and called out to him from a distance. "Dong Dong!" Dong turned around and was surprised to see her. He walked over and asked, "Hello, what's the matter?" Chu Xiang passed the backpack to him and said, "Chen can't be like this. He will definitely catch a cold when he returns home. Later, when they're resting, stick a few more thermal pads on them. Put one on their stomach, waist, back, thighs, and legs through their clothes. Also, let him hug this thermal pad when he is resting to warm his hands, face, and ears. It's very useful. Put on the hat for him." Dong looked at Zhuo Yichen, who was still playing, and said hesitantly, "It's not that serious. I will remind him to put on the hat and buy him a cup of hot drink. I can't accept your gift." Chu Xiang stuffed the bag into his hands. "It's not like it's anything strange. Hurry up and let him use it. I've been playing here for 3 years and met a few locals. These are all the things that they've told me. It's never wrong to be more careful." Chu Xiang had just finished when she saw the 4 boys lying on the snow in exhaustion. Then, Zhuo Yichen propped himself up and wanted to go to another place. The director gestured to them to take a break and go to the bathroom. They would continue filming from another location later. Zhuo Yichen went to pick up his hat and put it on his head. He immediately took it off and exclaimed, "Oh, I was sweating just now. Now the inside of the hat is frozen. It's mine." Chu Xiang took off her earmuffs and stuffed them into Dong's hands. "Hurry up and go. Little brother Chen is freezing." Chu Xiang gave him a push and quickly retreated. She turned around and walked away. Dong did not call out to her. When he saw Zhuo Yichen covering his collar, he hesitated for a moment and quickly ran over to him. He put the warm earmuffs on his head and stuffed the thermal pad into his arms. Zhuo Yichen blankly hugged the heart-shaped thermal pad. His hands warmed up instantly. "Brother Dong, you are so considerate today. When did you prepare these?" Dong pulled him towards the bathroom and lifted his chin. "Of course I'm not that considerate. Your sister gave them to you. When she saw that you were cold, she asked me to put a thermal pad on you and carry the thermal pad. She even gave you her earmuffs." "My sister." Zhuo Yichen glanced around casually and saw Chu Xiang in a red coat. She was quite eye-catching. He said, "Chu Xiang gave them to me? What about her?" "No, you have to return them to her. She's a girl and is more afraid of the cold." Zhuo Yichen was about to take off his earmuffs when Dong quickly stopped him. "My lord, are you really not afraid of rumors? There are so many people here and there are a few other sisters. Keep a low profile. If you give them to her again, she definitely won't want them. She will definitely catch a cold and have a fever. You have to treat her immediately. She cares about you. You can't let her down, right? Let's go to the bathroom. I'll put them on for you. Your fan told me where to put them." Zhuo Yichen looked at Chu Xiang a few more times worriedly. Chu Xiang happened to take a photo of his eyes when he looked over. In the past, people always laughed at the description of eyes. Eyes were just like that. How could there be such a gaze? However, people's gazes were indeed different when they were in different moods. When she was an actress, she could convey her strong emotions to the audience through the screen without doing anything. Just like now, she could clearly see Zhuo Yichen's apologetic and worried expression through the telephoto lens. He was afraid that she would catch a cold without those things. Actually, she was just playing around. As long as she circulated the spiritual energy in her body, it was as if she had her own air conditioner. She could only feel a little cold here. It was on a completely different level from how cold they were. However, her brother knew how to worry about her. Of course, he was much better than those idols who accepted their fans' goodwill with a clear conscience. Zhuo Yichen was pasted 9 warm stickers in the bathroom. He was speechless and kept rejecting them. Dong brought up Chu Xianglai. These were the fans' good intentions. Chu Xiang had instructed them to put the warm stickers in places. If he felt uncomfortable after the incident, Dong would be blamed by Chu Xiang. In fact, Dong was just teasing him. Zhuo Yichen was a little domineering. Dong did not expect him to compromise. However, Zhuo Yichen had always cherished his fans. He actually asked Dong to put 9 warm stickers on him. 1 on his back, 1 on his back, 1 on his stomach, 1 on each side of his arms, 1 on each front of his thighs, and 1 on each side of his stomach. They were really fully equipped. Zhuo Yichen felt warm all over, including his ears, which were covered by the plush earmuffs from the cold earlier. He was not cold at all now. After pasting the warm stickers, he could not believe it. There are so many of them. There won't be any problems, right? I didn't do it. Why didn't you ask me just now? Zhuo Yichen had already put on his clothes. If there was a problem with the warm stickers, wouldn't he have to take them off again? Dong scratched his head. Yes. Chu Xiang told me that the warm stickers she bought are not hot. It's not good to put too many warm stickers. However, you have been in the cold for a long time. Moreover, you will be back in half a day. So it's fine to put them on. When it's warm in the car, you can tear a few of them off. Then why did you ask? Let's go out. I was worried that there would be a problem. We're not that close to Chu Xiang. Dong muttered and ran over to put the microphone back on Zhuo Yichen. The 3 brothers had been waiting outside for a few minutes. When they saw him, they complained. Did you fall in the toilet? What have you been doing for so long? Zhuo Yichen laughed. I'm not telling you. Let's go, let's continue recording. The sooner we finish, the sooner we can go back. Gang Xian rubbed his chin and looked at him suspiciously. Something's wrong with you. You look like you have gained a lot of benefits. Hey, what's wrong with your earmuffs? They're fluffy and white. Where did you get them? Gang Xian reached out to touch them, but Zhuo Yichen tilted his body and dodged. Don't touch them. My ears are freezing if you touch them. Let's go. Zhuo Yichen passed the heat pack to Dong and ran away. At the same time, he asked them to turn on the microphone. After turning on the microphone, Gang Xian and the others did not say anything. They looked at each other and could only chase after him. In the end, they realized that Zhuo Yichen seemed to be on fire. He was not afraid of the cold at all. He burped as if he was on a stage. He kept laughing. Chu Xiang also noticed that Zhuo Yichen looked in her direction many times. This was the benefit of the camera. If the fans knew, they would die of jealousy. The 4 boys played for more than half an hour and finally finished exploring the entire ice world. The best thing about being a teenager was that they would never feel tired and would always be full of energy. But it was too cold. They could withstand it, but the crew could not. After they had shot enough material, the director signaled for the 4 of them to finish their closing remarks at the entrance. They still had a day to play in Ice City, eat delicious food and soak in the hot springs. The 4 boys hugged each other because of the cold. Zhuo Yichen faced the camera and said, I've had a lot of fun today. Tomorrow I will try all the delicious food here and soak in the hot springs. Now let's get in the car and go back to our accommodation. Let's go. The 4 boys rushed to the car. When Zhuo Yichen reached the entrance, he turned back and said mischievously, I'm afraid that we will have to stay here. After all, there are so many houses here. The recording stopped when they got into the car. Zhuo quickly got out of the car and patted Dong. Did you see Chu Xiang? I want to thank her and return her things. Dong also looked around and shook his head. No, she's wearing red. She's fluffy and very conspicuous. She doesn't look like a cherry blossom. Forget it. Let's meet again in the future. I'm freezing. Get in the car. Zhuo Yichen hesitated and said, should we drive and look for her? She must be freezing. It's so cold. Dong pushed him into the car and said, it's not suitable. Your filming is over. She must have gone back to the hotel. Oh yes, you still have a schedule tomorrow. She will definitely come. I will look for her then. Let's go. Zhao yawned. When he saw them getting into the car, he asked curiously, Yichen, what are you doing? What's wrong? Zhuo Yichen sat back in his seat and fiddled with the plush earmuffs. He shook his head and said, nothing. I just want to see if Chu Xiang is still around. Geng Xian pointed at the earmuffs and heat packs in surprise. Chu Xiang gave you these. So nice. Your sister Fan is so nice to you. Dong agreed. Don't say that. This girl is more attentive than me. She even asked me to put 9 heat packs on Yichen. By the way, Yichen, it's warm in the car now. Tear off whatever you can. Xia Zhou and Geng Xian looked at each other. At the same time, they put their hands on Zhuo Yichen's body and lifted his clothes to look for the heat packs. Sure enough, they found several. No wonder you're not afraid of the cold. I thought you were really good at fighting. Turns out you have equipment. Geng Xian helped him tear off the heat packs and said sourly, I'm jealous again. Why haven't I enjoyed this treatment before? Zhuo Yichen smiled and pushed them away. First of all, you have to have a particularly good sister Fan. He leaned back in his seat and rested. He took out his phone and was about to use his main Weibo account to send a private message to Chu Xiang to thank her. He clicked on the chat interface with Chu Xiang and suddenly realized that Chu Xiang had sent him a private message before. She had also sent him a picture. She had drawn it for the 4 of them and gave it to them to use wherever they wanted. She also asked him to help share it with the other teammates. He saw that the date of the message was when they were on the same flight. That was more than half a month ago. He could not help but feel a little annoyed. Chu Xiang had drawn such a beautiful picture for him, but he did not even see it. He immediately sent a few messages to Chu Xiang. Thank you for today. You must be freezing. There were too many people at that time. I didn't dare to look for you because I didn't want to trouble you. Sister, have you returned to your place? It's so late and you're alone. Let me know when you see the message. Sister, I just saw the picture you sent. Sorry. The picture is really good and beautiful. I really like it. Oh yes, I'm completely fine. Sister, your thermal pads are amazing. My earmuffs are also very warm. They're all working hard for me. Feel warm now. I'm not cold at all. I definitely won't catch a cold. Don't worry. Sister, remember to tell me that you're safe. Chu Xiang was listening to music with her earphones on. She did not look at the notifications when she heard them. She thought that they were notifications from the comments on Weibo. After returning to the hotel, she went to take a bath. She planned to relax and start editing the picture. Zhuo Yichen had been waiting for Chu Xiang's reply. Normally, fans would reply to their idol's private messages within seconds. However, he waited and waited. He waited until the car drove back to the villa, took a bath and finished his supper. However, Chu Xiang did not reply. Geng Xian rolled his eyes when he saw that Hua Yichen was scrolling through his phone. It's rare to see you like this. Why are you scrolling through Weibo? What are you doing? Didn't you send Chu Xiang a private message to thank her? Zhuo Yichen did not raise his head and said, if she says anything, I'll definitely reply. Xiao Zhou looked at him with his chin in his hand. Yichen, are you poisoned? Why are you so persistent? She'll definitely give you a hint if she replies. Even if you miss it, you can read it again tomorrow. I can't follow her. How can I get a hint? She sent me a private message more than half a month ago. I only saw it today. Zhuo Yichen shook his head and put down his phone. Why can't I secretly follow her on Weibo? It's too inconvenient. Xiao Ran lay on the sofa with her eyes closed. What did she send you half a month ago? Zhuo Yichen was stunned. He smiled and said, Oh, I forgot to tell you. Sister Chu Xiang drew a cartoon for us. It's really nice. Look. Zhuo Yichen found the picture and showed it to them. Gang Xian grabbed his phone and reprimanded him. How dare you keep something good to yourself? How can you forget about this kind of group drawing? Zhuo Yichen shrugged and joked. It's okay if you forget about it. Please remember that this is my fan. Didn't you see that the group drawing was only sent to me? I shared it with you guys. The three of you are just incidental. Look at how proud you are. Gang Xian sent the picture to the group of 4 and praised. It's really nice. This sister put a lot of effort into drawing it. Look, not only is the background of the 4 seasons, but the patterns on our clothes are also related to the 4 seasons. Chen, look at the snowflakes on your clothes. Mine is a maple leaf. I saw it a long time ago. Why don't you see who drew it? Zhuo Yichen felt an inexplicable sense of pride. It was as if he was proud that his fan was so awesome. Even if he found any of the sisters familiar, it was impossible for him to become familiar with them so quickly. He even felt close to them. However, Chu Xiang was natural to him. He felt as if he was more familiar with her than the other sisters who had been following him for a long time. However, they had chatted and laughed together before. It was only right for them to be familiar with each other. Zhuo Yichen looked at the picture and suddenly said, How about we change our profile picture to this? Haven't there been more and more poisons recently? Let's use our own people as profile pictures and let the group's official Weibo use this picture. What do you think? We have to give our fans some confidence and let the New Year's picture know that we won't be disbanded. Sure, this looks good. You really know how to give your fan sister benefits. She will be happy to see this. That's good. It's mutual. My fans spoil me and I have to spoil my fans too. I'll check with the company tomorrow. If there's no problem, I'll change it. Zhuo Yichen got up with a glass of hot water and said, I'm going back to my room. Sleep early. We'll eat good food tomorrow. Xiaozhou smiled and said, It's your favorite food. It's your day to celebrate tomorrow. Zhuo Yichen smiled at the thought of eating so many local delicacies. He went back to his room and played a song. Then he lay in bed and sent a private message to Chu Xiang. Sister, have you returned to your place safely? He remembered that fans would leave together with their idols after the trip. He did not know if Chu Xiang had left with other fans. Chu Xiang was a new fan and might not be familiar with them. He was a little worried that he had not received a reply in the middle of the night. He lay in bed and stared at his phone. On the other hand, Chu Xiang had just finished editing the picture. She was finally attracted by the notification on her phone. The moment she opened her Weibo, she saw a long string of messages from Zhuo Yichen. Just saw it. I went back to the hotel a long time ago. Why are you still awake? It's already 1 in the morning. You have to wake up early to record the program tomorrow, right? Zhuo Yichen finally received a reply. He smiled and typed with his chin propped up. I'm waiting for your reply. I'm fine. I didn't catch a cold. I returned to the hotel safely. Brother Yichen, you're indeed the captain. You're so caring. Chu Xiang was warmed by her idol's brother. She smiled and went into bed to type. I can't compare to you, sister. Thank you for the gift. I didn't catch a cold at all. Ming, are you coming? I'll return the bag to you. There's no need. There are so many people. It's troublesome. I still have some use for it. Chu Xiang thought of the next day's schedule and sent another message. We're going to eat delicious food tomorrow. Are you very happy? I've already eaten. I recommend double-cooked pork, boiled potato slices, pig slaughtered vegetables, salted sausages, carrot sweet potatoes, pickled vegetables, roasted cold noodles, tofu, and pure milk snow bricks. They're very delicious. This is really... Zhuo Yichen felt that he was drooling. He turned around and smiled helplessly. Mister, I just had supper. When I saw your message I felt hungry again. You know that I love to eat but you still. Are you doing this on purpose? Yes, that's right. Alright, go to sleep. Otherwise, Ming won't have the energy to film. Adjust the temperature of the air conditioner. Have a good rest. Chu Xiong looked at the time and hurriedly urged him to rest. Then, she suddenly thought of Xiao Rant's cat in the cloud. It looked quite similar. Zhuoichen thought of the portrait and hurriedly said, Sister, I showed them the portrait that you drew for the four of us. I think it's very beautiful. Can we use this portrait as our profile picture? Of course. I drew it for you. It's good that you like it. Zhuoichen swiped the screen and looked at the long conversation between the two of them. He thought about what had happened after they met. After hesitating for a moment, he sent a message. Sister, my account can't be connected to yours. It's very inconvenient. Let's add each other on WeChat. Okay. Chu Xiong sent her WeChat name card to him. The two of them quickly became friends on WeChat. Zhuoichen sent her a WeChat message. Sister, you've worked hard today. Rest early. Good night. Good night. Zhuoichen looked at Chu Xiong's profile picture on WeChat. This was the first fan that he had added on WeChat. This sister was indeed a very special fan. In the future she would be his senior. He wondered if she would still be his fan when that time came. Zhuoichen finally settled the things that he had been worried about. He could finally sleep peacefully. Before he went to sleep, he saw the neatly arranged backpack, heat packs, and plush earmuffs on the sofa next to him. Yes, just looking at them made him feel warm. You're tuning in to the Whispers of Romance YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.